What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Who is sending me emails right now as soon as I go live? I want to have a conversation with y'all. And this is kind of an impromptu live stream that I decided to do this afternoon instead of being out in these streets and getting it in and you know what I'm saying? All of that other type of stuff. I'm here for business, right? And so because I'm here for business, I'm out here in LA. I'm on the West Coast. I feel like I got some extra time, not only because we got the holiday popping off and things like that, but also because um, I'm 3 hours behind what I would usually be on the East Coast, Midwest, Eastern time zone or whatever, right? So, I got some time to kill. I got an event that I got to be at around 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And it's important for me to maximize the time that I have, not to just be walking around. I was actually out playing ball earlier today. Yes, a whole nother conversation. So I worked out, been cooking up. I had a lot of different coaching calls, got some business to take care of. I was catching up on some projects that I needed to get scheduled before Tuesday once we go back to work in corporate America. And then I was somebody sent me this article. They sent me this article and I said, you know what? Let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. I want to talk about it. If we have people that are in the military, if we have people um that have been in the Army, the Navy, Air Force, whatever it is, because there's a lot of people that jump on the late night live streams, right? I'm not even gonna put the Rolex on today. I'm gonna just put my Apple Watch on. It's a lot of people that be on the late night live streams. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people that rock with me are actually in the military or they've been in the military and things like that, right? So this is how we're gonna play it right now, right? How the show is gonna go, because I kind of have an unlimited amount of time or whatever, so on and so forth. I'm gonna do a little bit of housekeeping. A, that's A. B, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna just share the story. I'm gonna go over it really quickly. And then I want to pose the question to you guys, and I want to drop the link in the chat for you guys to be able to cam up, join me on the panel. Because I have questions as a civilian that do not know a whole lot about the military outside of the extensive amount of information that you guys have provided for me on the late night live streams. I'm curious. I'm curious, and I want to ask this question, and I want to pose this question based off of how we've civilized society, how feminism have changed how we look at things as far as everything trying to be equal, and should women be in the military? I would like women's perspective. I want men's perspective. And this is not me trying to convince anybody of anything. This is me asking a question and then asking for insight from different people based off of what their opinions are, what their life experiences are, right? I want to drop the link in the chat after I present to you the article that was sent to me from people, and it forced me to start questioning even more than I already have of whether or not women should be in the military, right? So I'm going to share with you the article, and then I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Not only am I going to share the article, I'm going to share with you her Instagram stories. So she's documented this and recorded it, but I took something away from it completely different than what the article took away from it, right? Shout out to Duty, Honor, and Caffeine says, yes, but no combat. They can be cooks and clean up the facilities, work in the gyms, and do admin work. Woo! You already getting this started. Shout out to you. Let me get a little bit of the housekeeping out of the way. Thank you for all of the super chats and people holding me down. I'm going to get the housekeeping out of the way. If you have not already, I dropped in the Patreon today the date and link for our next live stream that we're doing over Zoom, part 4 of building a business. And we are going to mine that out. So those of you that have specific tasks based off of what we said in part 3 and part 1, 2, and 3 is all recorded. It's all in the Patreon. That link is in the description. Make sure you guys tap in. I have a Patreon exclusive video, and it is really, really good. I got a Patreon exclusive video dropping on Monday, Memorial Day. And we live streaming too, so that's gonna be dope. So anybody that want to tap into the Patreon, we doing some great things in there. Lock in with the people that's going in the direction that you're going in. It's gonna be absolutely dope. In addition to that, shout out to Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link is in the description for you to be able to tap in with Teach Hanley. As you can see, I'm in my hotel room and I'm cooking up. I'm about business. I don't just be flying in and out of town to go and have fun. We're not going to Disney World or nothing like that. We cooking up, right? And then last but not least, there was a Fight Club. Make sure you join Fight Club. That link is in the description for Fight Club. We do that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And then we got some more shows that's coming. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, and then we're doing great things. So let me share with you the article, and then I'm going to share with you her Instagram stories. And then I want to invite you guys up to the panel so that you can have the conversation with me. And then we can mine out whether or not women, in my opinion, I'm going to give you my opinion, whether or not women should be in the military or any of the armed services or anything like that. I got my opinion, but it's limited because I don't have experience in the military. But I know a lot of y'all rock with me is in the military. So I'm going to share with y'all the article really quickly, and then we going to mine out exactly what this thing is. So let me share my screen with you guys. So this is the article that somebody sent me, okay? This is the article that somebody sent me. Fort Hood Sergeant rings alarm on allegedly troubled base. Now, I've been monitoring for an extended period of time what's been happening over in Fort Hood because they have a troubled history, and there's a lot of chaos that's been going on there. A lot of alleged murders and suicides and different things that happen, so on and so forth. But let me go ahead and give you a little bit more insight on exactly, a little bit more insight on what I'm looking at. So it says that months of repeated allegations of harassment, physical assaults, and retaliation levied by Army Sergeant Joelle Scott, a woman, obviously, against officials on the Fort Hood Army base near Killeen, Texas, reached a boiling point this week as Scott posted videos to her personal social media saying she feared for her life. Specifically, she said, "If I end up dead, just know someone did it." All right, cool. Now let me share with you her Instagram story. I'm gonna just go ahead and click the link, and we're just gonna get right into that. So this is her story.
Hey y'all, so I just want to get on here.
Let me know if y'all can hear this.
That if something happened to me, if just real blunt and honest with, if I end up dead, if I end up missing or something like that, just know somebody did it. And I just want to get out here and put something.
Can y'all hear that well? Can y'all hear that? Okay, good. Y'all can hear it. Good. Thank y'all for letting me know. And again, thank you for everybody for supporting the platform, locking me down, making sure everything good. I'm going to play her story, and then I'm going to drop the link in the chat, and I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat so you guys can be able to cam up, rock out with me, and we're going to have this conversation. But let me finish playing her story.
Out because I know how the media, I know how my job, being in the military, will paint these false narratives. And I'm going to do more talking about it. I'm trying to post a video now, but I just need something quick put out there so that way people know, like, if it was self-inflicted or something like that, my family would know, my friends would know. So if nothing comes from them or nothing like that, I just want to say somebody did it. I don't know what's going to happen, but for some reason I feel like my days, something is just telling me my days are limited, and I don't know how it could be. I don't know if it's, things get heavy, man, and I'm not gonna lie, like, things are perfect for me. Like, it could be, and this is not me trying to come on here and tell y'all that I'm gonna be dead the next day. I don't know, but I know those people who do end up dead, they wish they would have put something out. They wish they could have told their truth before, they left this earth and left it to people. Now, like I said, I'm trying to make a video of everything, just saying what's kind of going on. Then they can paint whatever picture they want, and people don't know my side of the story. So I'm going to make a video, but just keep me in y'all prayers.
So in my opinion, she's setting the precedent, right? So first she's saying, yo, listen, and again, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because the way that I seen this video or these stories is completely different than the way that she's painting it initially. So initially I reacted and I'm like, yo, maybe she's under duress or some bad stuff happened and so on and so forth. And maybe it is, I don't know, right? But she started this off by like, yo, if something happened to me, I want to make a video because I know it's other people that stuff happened to them and they probably wish they would have had a video and all of this other type of stuff, right? We're talking about the military. We're talking about the best of the best protecting us, making sure that our lives safe. They got to go through certain things that we will never be subjected to, so on and so forth, right? But I'm gonna continue to play the video. I'm giving y'all my mindset as I'm looking at this, and this is how I'm translating it, right?
And just know that don't. I told y'all it was only a matter of time. They put out AWOL. They just seen me less than 24 hours ago. They talked to me today. They put out AWOL. I just want y'all to see what's going on. You good? So they have me. No, nobody told me nothing was going on. All these people here for me. Y'all, at this point, I honestly think these people is probably trying to kill me or something. Like, I don't know. They won't leave me alone. They are literally harassing me. Like, literally, they will not leave me alone. They're at my door again, and it is now like 3:00 a.m. and it won't stop. It just will not stop. Like, they begged them to keep me in the hospital and put me in the ward and begged them, please, 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 don't let her leave. Like, I think these people is really after me for real. Like, yeah, they've been after me on the work standpoint, but I think these people was really after me for real. Like, I can't stop looking over my shoulder. Y'all, oh my gosh, they're outside of my fucking door. It's 3:28 and they sent the police back to my space. They begged the fucking hospital people to keep me. They were upset because the hospital said, no, she's fine. Released me, and they wanted me to go with them. The hospital said, no, she's released. And once y'all are here to verify that she is released, she can leave. Here they are, 3 a.m, because my commands want them to meet me for whatever reason.
What is whatever reason? That's what I'm thinking. Like, see, initially I'm like, oh man, she need to be safe or whatever, so on and so forth. Like, a man's initial instinct is to protect women, right? But then I'm like, well, what is the reason? What is this? Like, are they just picking on you? Did it just come out of the blue? What, did you do something else? Are you not telling a full story? Can they not actually communicate to us, the general public, what you really did or what's going on? Or is it just all, listen, you did something or you didn't do anything and they coming for you or whatever like that? Or are you running in the victim Olympics, right? You try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but this is only one way. Why are they sitting out your door at 3:00 in the morning? I'm just curious. I'm curious, like, because it's almost like, well, tell the whole story. Why are you fearing for your life in the first place? Did this just come out of the blue? You just woke up like, oh man, I'm just fearing for my life? Let's continue. I know what I'm talking about. And this is her story. This is her story that she have shared. I'm not going to slow it down or whatever. Now she talking about if something happened to her friend and all of this. I'm going to just go ahead and navigate through this really quickly because I want to. If something happens, you won't hear the last of it. Voice will be heard. Okay, so now she talking about her friend, protect her friend and stuff, right? You hear too many stories about Fort Hood. Please don't let her be another one. Everyone screen record her and repost it. Her voice needs to be heard now. Jew baby. Oh, I guess that was a repost. I guess this is the name of the girl. So other people are posting and saying if something happened to my friend in Fort Hood, whatever, repost it, so on and so forth. And I guess her name is D Deja. Keep praying for her. Okay, so who is this chick, right? This Jew baby chick. So now I want to click it and find out who this person is. Shonda Yates. Shonda Yates is her. Okay. Anyways, let's just keep going.
Hey, everybody. I just want to say thank you for all of the support and all of the love. I mean, it's mind blowing. And it just feels good because so long I felt like I was by myself. I don't have any family here in Texas. I'm on this base by myself. And if you know me, you know I don't have a lot of friends.
Why don't you got no friends?
So thank you for all of the support. I just want to update y'all on everything today.
What happened? Why are they on you?
As a part of the effort to shut me up about everything.
Shut you up about what?
They decided to kick me out in the next 10 days, which is very unfair.
Wait, okay. So did you hear that? And in order to shut her up, they decided to kick her out within the next 10 days. But then she's saying it's unfair. You're saying you fear for your life. And again, I'm working with limited information, but all I can do is go by what it is that I'm seeing on this story, right? She's saying that it's unfair that they're kicking her out in the next 10 days. But then at the same time, she's saying that she feared for her life. Honestly, I'm curious. I'm curious what the heck is going on and if women are genuinely just built to be in the military at all. Because at first when I was going to react to this, and I wasn't even going to do a live stream, I was just going to do like a quick video of it and just drop it for you guys. But now after I thought about it and I started watching it and I started looking at it a little bit differently, I'm like, what is she talking about? Let me see what Leon said. Leon says, grow up on Fort Hood. The news media never makes it to this base. Simple. They act as if the violations, no matter the gender, suicides, and murders. Fair enough. I'm going to drop the link in the chat for y'all to be able to jump on here and have this conversation too. I'm curious.
And unjust, giving that I've done nothing wrong, but try to spread the word that this base is corrupt and it's a lot of things going on, but in efforts to hush me. Yeah, so I'm being separated from the Army under misconduct after I've served for 5 years, never been in trouble. I love that anybody who knew me know I talk about the Army nonstop.
What is she talking about?
Despite of not posting it on my social media, but they knew, people walk around, oh, Sergeant Major Scott, they know I loved it. And I was so proud of it for so long. And the moment that you highlight issues that need to be addressed, they kicked me out. I got 10 days to try to figure out where I'm going to live, 10 days to figure out a plan, 10 days to figure out where my...
Listen, if you up in my stuff and you messing up what I got going on, and every single minute you out here posting to social media about how the government is trying to kill you and all this other type of stuff, you got to go. I mean, logically, I would think that it's time for you to go and move on into something else. And yeah, okay, Fort Hood may be bad or whatever, so on and so forth. But I'm just curious as to what the heck is going on. All right. I'm gonna drop the link in a minute, but let me get to a couple more of these stories.
Source of income is gonna come from 10 days with nothing to justify it. So I'm gonna make a video, and I'm not gonna.
No, you're not gonna stop.
Assaulted. I have been threatened. I have been, in so many different situations that you guys are not aware of. And for so long, I was so scared. And people would say, go to the news. Your story is mind-boggling. Like, I can't believe you've been through this. You're so strong because you don't talk about it. But I feel like I wasn't strong then. I couldn't talk about it.
Now, I don't want to discount her experience, but is this simps? Are simps telling her, hey, are they trying to bust it down? I don't know. We don't know because she ain't said nothing and it's only a one-sided story.
And I just think about the people that I kind of influenced to join. Like, I always think about my little sister, who I told her it was the best thing.
Really? She got an $8,000 in her GoFundMe for a lawyer?
I had to be there for myself. I couldn't. I will explain everything today. So I just hope that you guys can stay around. Repost, please. I really need the help. I appreciate the support. And it's wrong. They're kicking me out. It is absolutely insane. Um, yeah, so 10 days, they're off the hook. That's what they want. For me to not continue to go and fight for these things. And now they're off the hook, you know? So it's just been a lot. So I really appreciate all of the support and
somebody said, think about it. Somebody says
everything else, you know. So I'll update you guys later.
Anton.
So pretty much, I've called these people here, Martinez and what.
Them look like kids, man. Look, somebody says, Anton, this kind of stuff happens all the time. Yes, she's being vague. Clearly, details can't be disclosed. Stop overreacting, brother. It's not regular business. It's the government military. Fair enough. But you listen, don't half share with me. Don't tell me to repost, because I don't know if I'm reposting it based off of you running in the Victim Olympics or you really going through something. Yo, actually say what the heck. Don't half do it is all I'm saying. Don't half do it. Just be all the way 100 with whatever your situation is, because you may be painting a picture that may not be accurate. It's the same thing that happened with guys all the time. And again, I'm not saying that this is the truth. I'm telling you what the perspective is, because I'm not the type of person that just believe everybody just for the sake of believing people. I don't know what her ulterior motive is. I don't know if she has one. I don't know if the military really did something. I don't know what it is. But don't give me no half truth, because let me tell you what happens. Let me tell you what happens. Look at the article. The article specifically says, and I'm about to drop the link in a second. On Monday, Fort Hood officials posted a statement saying that they would investigate allegations and hold leaders accountable. Cool. Our number one priority is safety, blah, 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 blah. We got that, right? But Scott, who said that she's been in the Army for more than 5 years, said that the statement was a lie and an alleged cover-up. Of what? Now she will be discharged in less than a week. Become a target. Officials are trying to silence her for raising concerns about mistreatment. So she's saying she's being mistreated. She said it includes physical assault and threats against her and others on the base. In her latest post, she is now seeking a lawyer. Recent allegations led to renewed questions about alleged toxic culture. Where have we heard that from? Toxic masculinity. We've heard toxic associated with anything men related. Okay. Where in the past 2 years, her most recent allegations had led to renewed questions about the alleged toxic culture of Fort Hood, where in the past 2 years, more than 24 deaths, multiple disappearances, and various tales of intimidation and violence have been reported by NBC News and NPR, among other outlets. In 2020, Secretary of the Army Ryan McCarthy said Fort Hood had one of the highest rates of murder, assault, and harassment in this branch of service. Cool. Watch this. Public needs to know what's going on here. Now they have no more faith in the federal system or the Army. Approximately 40,000 soldiers served at Fort Hood. Hold on. The severity of Scott's recent allegations reached its peak after she said she'd been arrested by undercover officers last week and taken to a hospital, which we've already seen. She says she's been trying to bring awareness to these things. Once they were made aware that I've been working with news stations, I quickly became a target and someone that they needed to hush. Well, I'm going to kick you out also if I know that I got a mole in my system, right? Regardless of whether or not they're doing something right or wrong, I would hush you up by getting you up out of there also, because you out there recording. And as you'll see, right? She also was recording secret conversations. Check this out. Amir says, I want to speak on this, Anton, but you're being too harsh. I haven't said anything yet. I haven't even done anything. I haven't said anything. Watch this. Just watch what she says.
I don't even Sarn Sandler here, because I have been harassed non-fucking stop, and I'm the one who called the police, wrote my sworn statement, and because my...
So now she's nervous. We're going to go to the next one.
They still follow me everywhere I'm going. They're literally walking into the buildings behind me as if I did something wrong or if I got some type of order. I wasn't supposed to, I had lied about the stuff I put on my sworn statement because they said that's not true. And
so she lied. She said she literally just admitted that she lied about the stuff that she put on her sworn statement. So what am I supposed to believe? Honestly, what am I supposed to believe? Am I automatically supposed to retweet this and say, hey, support her because believe all women? And she's sitting here telling you that she lied on her sworn statement. She lied on her sworn statement. Let's continue. I'm gonna drop the link shortly.
And that's not what happened. So we're gonna arrest you. Okay. Bet.
Let's continue. Hold on. Yeah. I don't care about all of that. Her reposts. I don't care about reposts. Listen, look at this.
I think a start would just be some leadership that actually care.
So this is her recording conversations. Literally says the audio was taken from April 6th. My squad leader, blah, 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 was all present when I told whatever. So she's been secretly recording everybody and all of that.
Well, I think that this forum where folks need to stop on what they're doing for the day that invested years is step in the right direction.
With all due respect, Farm Major, I disagree.
I'm sure everyone in this room benefit on as well. Okay, so you said a start, but like what I'm asking for is like what is the ideal outcome of the meeting with the CG? Like what do you hope that will achieve?
Just to bring awareness and light on the things that soldiers encounter daily, specifically myself, within the unit, within the battalion, just everything.
I don't trust any woman. I'm gonna go ahead through this. A bunch of recordings. Listen, y'all can go and check them out yourself. She posting multiple stuff.
Back on post, and about 5 police cars are here. They stopped me. I met up with somebody to come with me back on post because I didn't feel safe. The last interaction that I had with any military official was my supervisor yesterday. She told me at 0620 PT formation, with the climate of the media and everything that's going on, I told her that I did not feel comfortable.
Just so I can verify real quick. Yeah, that's not a problem. I got you.
That I did not feel comfortable.
I'm about to drop the link in the chat, y'all.
To the formation or being under anyone's command, especially with everything that's going on. And she said, okay. She said, okay. She didn't say anything. She said, I was sure that your command knows that you're not comfortable. She never said, meet me here. She never said, meet me at this place still, or still come to post. She just said, okay. I was sure that your command is not comfortable. And so I talked to CID. And I talked to CID. And CID told me that they are that there's no missing person report on me or anything like that. I last spoken with my physically, Can I have you step out of the vehicle, please? Yes. All right. We're gonna go over here in front of this vehicle right here.
If you're a military member or a vet or something like that, I'd like to get y'all insight on this. I dropped the link in the chat too.
I just want to get this on video.
Make sure you're on camera.
From the precinct, whatever. After I filed the complaint, and I ended up being the one arrested. And these people has been following me nonstop. They won't stop following me. I told them I was gonna meet them at the company, whatever the case may be. And they still follow me everywhere I'm going. They're literally walking into the buildings behind me as if I did something.
I'm about to bring y'all up. This whole story is almost over.
But this is what I mean by harassment. I just want y'all to see this. I'm gonna keep it recorded.
I don't know who that is though. They got the OCPs on, so hopefully it is. A car full of soldiers.
That they're not supposed to be near me. They still coming, pulling up to my place. They still coming. It ain't stopping. The harassment is still going. They literally just have a sharp harassment on a sharp complaint on them, and they still pulling up in front of my barracks. I don't know what for. I don't know why. They still pulling up in front of my barracks. They bagged them to keep me at the precinct. This is
All right. So let me go ahead and pull y'all up. Now that y'all done seen her story and the article, and there's literally people like, now different politicians saying down with the army and all of this other kind of junk. Foolishness, silliness. Let me bring up Amir. And again, if you want to join up on a panel, make sure you can up. Anybody can have this conversation and join in. What's going on, Amir?
What's up, bro?
Chilling. What you scared of, man?
Nah, I never been on the panel before.
You ain't got to be scared. I'm nothing to fear, my friend. I am your friend.
I was
You got a little plant right there in front of
Oh, this is holding up my phone now.
Oh, okay. You good then? You good? All right, you good, fam. So what's happening, my friend? I'm gonna bring y'all up one by one too. So
real quick, I'm gonna just say I'm in the military, and well, right now I'm on break though, but I'm in the military, but I've been in for almost about 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're being a little bit. Normally, I would be, if it was like a regular conversation, like regular out in the world, I would be like, yeah, you got to make sure you got all the facts or whatever it is. But with the military, it's just a different type of thing altogether. Like, you literally kind of don't have an incentive to kind of like lie about these things. And it is a normal occurrence. I see people in the chat saying it's not a normal thing. No, it's definitely a normal thing with people trying to cover up certain things. I don't know specifically what she was talking about. What you read in the article was something about assault or anything and threats and stuff like that. And you said she lied on the sworn statement. What did she lie about on the sworn statement? Hello?
Anton, you're on mute.
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
My bad. I like to mute in between what it is that I'm saying. That's what she said. She said I lied because, or was she saying that I misinterpreted? And she was saying that they saying that she lied because, but that's what she said in her story. I can replay it. I can go and bring it up again.
Well, if you said she said it, then that's what she said. But
I
that's kind of even. But this is one of those. This is one of those aspects where this is a kind of different situation than the actual regular world, because as far as a sworn statement, she would have took a sworn statement with the military police. So if she's not comfortable and she feels, like people are out to get her, I would understand why she would lie on a sworn statement to the actual military police, because she's not. It looks like people are targeting her. I mean, the military police is different than her actual chain of command, but I can kind of understand. I see what you're saying. She said she lied, but like she just seems like she's kind of paranoid. That's my thing. It's kind of. I just think it's a different situation.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm gonna ask you two questions. First question is, if you think this is an organization that's out to get you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're having problems and stuff, why would you still want to be there?
I actually thought about that. I kind of felt like you were going to ask me that question.
I'm just wondering.
But whether you just want to be, that's just that specific chain of command. They could have switched her over to another unit or put her at another post. They didn't have to keep. They didn't have to.
Let me ask the second question. Think about both of them, and then you can answer it in any way you want, right? The second part is, why would said organization want someone there that is posting secret recordings and highlighting every single thing that happens within that organization? A, why would they want to still be there? And then B, why would organization want person there that is recording possibly every single thing that happens in said organization? I'm curious about that.
So whether she's okay, if you're speaking from a perspective of the actual organization as the army, then of course you want to get rid of her as fast as you can. But you're speaking You're saying it from like the perspective of the military, like that's the actual correct perspective. If you're speaking from the perspective of like in general or from her perspective, then they could have just put her somewhere else. They didn't have to necessarily kick her out. If you can kick somebody,
Like
because
where would they put her?
they could put her on another post
So she could be
or
secretly
at another
recording
unit on
again?
the post. What's that?
So she could be secretly recording what's going on again?
No, what would she be recording if she's at another unit on the post or if she's at a whole nother post? It takes money to process somebody out the military. So for them to kind of like speed up the process to kick her out within a month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that's kind of that's saying something that they will go through the lengths of actually putting in that paperwork, spending the money to actually out process her in a extremely fast fashion. That kind of shows you that there's actually something going on. Regardless of not if she was lying or not, I think she has a viable reason to lie. But if you like that, just it's a whole bunch of red flags. Plus, with this being a normal occurrence, it's a whole bunch of red flags there. That's what I'm just saying. It's a whole bunch of red flags.
True. So my question though, because yeah, we know that Fort Hood is notorious for having red flags, right?
Super notorious.
But why would you still want to be in an organization that got all of these red flags? Is all I'm wondering.
Just because, okay. She
Because
didn't
they
say she didn't want to be in the
just
military. She just said she didn't want to be in that chain of command. As far as that's what I got from the story
Yeah,
she was
but I
saying.
mean, if you having problems with an
Why should she have?
organization in a general sense, I don't want to work for a company that I feel like is doing corrupt things.
But that's just like saying, if you don't like America, why are you here? No, if I don't like
Yeah,
America, then we need to change the government. The government needs to be removed, not the people.
no,
So what
no.
she did is a very good thing. You call out evil and you remove evil. You don't say let's hide evil and then, make people think that she's crazy and just bring more people in, lie to them, and then they get, feel the same way she do. But if you say
But see,
something,
this is the
you're going to get
problem,
in
though,
trouble.
Karen, is because you automatically assuming that said organization is evil when we don't have any evidence that says otherwise. You
You
can't
do
just
have evidence.
automatically believe a woman just because she says something.
You're
Now,
We're
that
getting
not
doesn't
talking
into
mean,
about
the.
hold
gender.
on, wait a minute. If you don't like it, and I'm one of them type of people, and listen, I'm open to being wrong, or anybody, the link is in the chat for you to be able to come up here and say whatever you want to say, because I'm not going to mute you. If you don't like it, why are you there? I'm not going to stay with an organization that I hate working for. I don't say, no, we're going to change the entire organization around based off of how I feel. No, you can go and you can do your own thing. If you don't
But
like
that's
this
what Amir
program,
was
you can
saying.
go.
But that's what he's saying. They didn't have to fire her. They could have just moved her. So and that's part
No,
of
ain't no
procedure.
moving,
If
because
you're
once
not
I find
happy,
out that you an issue, if I find out that you out here, listen, me and my chick, right? That's like saying me and my chick or my family, or let's just say whatever. Let's say I got 5 family members in here, right? And I'm wrong, and I'm the leader, and then they got issues with me. But the minute I find out that you recording my conversation, I'm a mush the fuck out of your face, and you getting the hell out of my
or
house.
or she gonna get rid of you. Well, I mean,
Ain't
one
no
of you
you
got to
getting
go.
it. See, and this is the
I
problem.
wanna
You getting out of my house, no matter what the issue is. When I find out that you step over the line and you start recording, you getting mushed and you getting drug out.
Yeah, that's unfair. I mean, and that really just tells the people to shut up. And that's not the people is the reason that the freaking Fort Hood is even open, right? It's the people, the military, that is the reason Fort Hood is open. So if you want Fort Hood to stay open, you need to treat your people fairly. And if
No,
this lady and numerous, hold on, if this lady and numerous of people, because I even looked it up on Google, they're infamous for being horrible people. If this lady and other people have complained about the way that they treat them, then you need to change the way that they treat their people, because that's where they get their money. Anton, this is your show, right? And if everybody came on here disrespecting you or feel like you're talking to people crazy, from the conversations that I've had with you, you might adjust the way that you speak because you understand the importance of your listeners, right?
no, I don't. When
Yeah,
did
but
I
I've
start?
seen
When
I've
did
seen
I
you say,
start
you know
making
what?
adjustments to how I speak?
I've seen you say, you know what? I've had to check myself. I think you said the last time you was talking to someone, you
But
said
that's
you
the
had to check
standard that
yourself.
but that's the standard that I established from jump. I've never changed.
and the army makes you feel like everybody remember that song or commercial, the army reserve. They make you feel like yes, this is here, be here. And then once you get there, you're getting treated like a dog. No, the violence needs to be called out.
Hey, Dot, is a Dayline in the back? Give me a piece. All right, I'm gonna bring you up, fam. So let me say this, and then we're gonna do a popcorn style. Y'all more than welcome to say whatever it is that y'all want to say, right? Considering all of this, right? Considering Amir's perspective, Tyranny's perspective, my perspective, considering all of the information that you guys now have, right? I think personally, I understand that there's always going to be problems because you always going to have humans. You can't root out entirely everything from anything because you're always going to have new players and you just make adjustments and you try to put protocols in place, right? But you don't upend an entire organization and system that has kept us safe for an extended period of time. This is just my personal opinion. Considering all of our perspectives, because I think that women are too soft to even be in certain conversations and in certain environments with men, considering that, should women be in the military or the army in the first place?
Yes, to bring balance.
To the whole panel. That's the first question that I put on the title. Should women be in the army or the military? And I have a limited amount of experience because I haven't been in it, but I'm speaking from the perspective of a civilian, and B, a person that looks at things from sort of a gender role. I don't believe that everything should be fair. I don't believe that women should be in the same position as men. I don't even believe that women should have this. Let me not get into that yet, because then they're going to be saying, Anton, you a chauvinist and all of this other type of stuff.
The darkest angel. Don't start.
Listen. Do y'all want me to be 100% honest, or y'all want me to say that for the end of the live stream? I don't believe that women should have the same power that men have in society.
But we don't, though. We know
that. I also don't believe that even certain men should have the same power as other men in society. But I'm going to say that for later. Go ahead. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say.
But that's true. We don't have the same power that y'all have. We know that, right? But when y'all invite us into y'all world, then you already know what you're inviting into. If you wanted another man perspective, you would have just hired all men. But clearly y'all want women, or the army want women in there because they understand it's going to bring balance.
Or maybe y'all protested y'all way into it.
That is the more likely scenario.
That we our way into it?
Y'all protested y'all way into it like y'all did everything else in society.
Women requested to be a part. Like they requested to be a part of the draft. Yeah, women did request.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let me get this super chat and then you can rock out, Dayline. I'm a vet. Emotions do not win wars. Emotions do not take controlled shots at the enemy. This is why ladies do not belong in the military. Weak military lose wars, not emotional, soft-spoken soldiers. Shout out to Adonis. Go ahead. What you saying, Dayline?
Daylan. But what I was saying is that women requested. No worries. Women requested to be a part of the military. They requested to be a part of the draft. In fact, there was this whole uproar of them, the whole Me Too movement. A part of that came from them wanting to be a part of having equality. Should women be a part of the military? I think there's jobs that women can do within the military, but active combat, no, I don't agree with that because it requires a certain type of mindset and skill that women just don't have. If you're thinking about, should I do this versus I need to do this for my country, that's a problem, especially when you're going into these war zones and you have to make a decision about someone's life or death.
Okay, so first off, the Me Too movement had nothing to do with no military. And if anything, it had to do with transgender men wanting to be a part of it because Donald Trump even was like, ain't no transgender man strong enough to be a part of no army. Secondly, it started in 1948 that women, I guess they passed that women could be a part of the war, right? But even then, it wasn't really to go out there and fight. Like Anton said, there are things that women do that men can't, like nursing.
Specifically to the draft. I'm not talking about women who wanted to join the military. I'm speaking specifically to the draft. That was for men only.
Okay.
What came from that, women, part of the, I'm not saying that the Me Too started this whole women joining the military. No, specifically the draft.
Yeah, but the draft wasn't The draft wasn't black women calling out. Honestly, it was white women calling out, saying that they want to be a part of the military, and there was also propaganda to get.
I'm not even
It was
speaking to
also
racism.
hold on. It was also a propaganda to get poor people to join, so you don't have to put rich people's children in there. So it really never was about women per se being a part and doing a man's combating job. But if y'all gonna open the floodgates of women being allowed to be a part of your industry, do you have to understand you're working with two completely different mind frames, right?
Right.
So why
But
are we
you keep
fighting
saying
out?
we're inviting women. You keep saying that men are inviting women, or women demanding to be a part of.
We've never demanded to go out there with a gun and shoot people. That's not what women have demanded to go and do.
That's literally what the feminists, the second wave and third wave feminism is
Heroes in
all
here, like,
about.
yeah.
I don't honestly, to be honest with you, I don't know what this whole feminism crap is, but honestly, white women were the ones that advocated to be a part of the thing because they didn't like that men get paid more than them. So okay, well let me have an equivalent job to a man. But no, most women ain't gonna be out there and be like, let me go and shoot another man. That's not it. But there are nurses, there are people that there's different, like Amir said, there's different bases that a woman can be a part of.
That's what I
So, but
said. There's civilian jobs that are within the military that women can do and would be more suited for. I never disputed that. All I'm saying is that anything you speaking to white women, when this is a black woman that we have who's speaking to this is a black woman who wanted to be a part of this. Now, I'm not justifying what happened to her because I don't agree with it, but I am saying that this is part of that mindset. And if you're not going to be susceptible to that mindset, then you don't need to be a part of it.
And that's what she was doing. She was calling it out because she refused to be accepted of that mindset.
What did she
Fort
call
Hood
out?
is in Texas, right?
What do you think
She
she?
called out behavior that was happening to her, not necessarily behavior in general. If you're going to call out, I agree with Anton. She is a liability to the organization if because whatever this conversation that was supposed to be private. Now you released confidential information to the public that could be used against them.
Good. Good. Call it out, bro. What's wrong with calling out the bull
That's a
swanky?
liability. That's a liability.
So,
Okay.
I'm gonna have to
Oh my God.
oh
Can I
my
jump in
God.
real
Like I
quick?
said, you know what?
Can I jump in real quick?
Nothing done in the dark will stay there. Nothing done in the dark will stay there. So if you're bringing injustice to people that's serving you in this country, then your ignorance needs to be called out so everyone would know what's going on under the rock. And how dare you guys get mad at this woman or man, whatever it is that's calling it out. How dare you guys get mad at that person for saying, hey, look over
No
here.
one is
I
mad
see
at
a
her. You're the
welcome on
loudest one in the
Not
chat.
mad at her. I said what happened to her is not right. But at
Yeah,
the
but
end of
you're
the day,
also
she's still
saying
a
that.
liability.
Yeah, exactly. You're also saying that maybe she shouldn't have said nothing because she's a liability and just kick her out and let her go for speaking up.
I'm just speaking to her actions.
Hold on, let me let Daryl give his perspective. Go ahead, Daryl.
I appreciate it, Time Dog. And good morning to everybody, or good afternoon now, I should say. But
That's rising.
I'm assuming we all know about the story that happened last year with Lady Vanessa Gillian. Before I proceed, right? We all know about that story, right?
Yes, sir.
So if we all know about that story, we all know that since Lady Gillian passed away, there was also 21 different officers directly from Fort Hood who has been missing and now presumed to be deceased. Hers was the only one that was the most publicized. So I actually did a video about this and Lady Jewel Scott a few days ago because, in my opinion, I couldn't imagine if Vanessa would have had the opportunity to go on YouTube, start a whole page about what she was going through. For those who don't know, she wasn't just deleted, but she was also dismembered. She was dismembered and her body was found in a nearby lake, and not even all of her pieces were found, so they had to have a closed casket funeral. The reason why I did a story about this, and I understand what you're saying, my brother, the line about she's being weak to her organization, but that's really in my opinion, that's a very disheartening take to have, because if this woman, just like Lady Vanessa, she decided that I'm going to go serve my country, and maybe that wasn't the reason. Maybe she wanted to get some discounts on student loans. Maybe she wanted some easy benefits. No matter what happened, she should have never been raped, and she should have never been dismembered and ultimately deleted. it happened not only with her, but 21 different officers were arrested, and ultimately kicked out of Fort Hood. And this was in 2020, right? And now we have the same exact thing happening. I think that when there's smoke, there's fire, right? And we see these different people, specifically women who are, they're in Fort Hood specifically, and they're being, abused in a sexual way. And, ultimately, I did the story because I didn't want to see Joel Scott end up becoming like Lady Gillian. I didn't want to see a story where, this woman is begging for help online, telling the truth about her situation. And also, there was something that people were saying in the chat about why couldn't she just leave? If anybody who's ever served in the military, you guys know what AWOL means, right? Absent without leave. You can't leave until they say you can leave. They don't give. It doesn't matter what's going on. My grandmother can be passing away. It doesn't matter what's going on. You can't leave until we say you can leave. Otherwise, you're going to be subject to being arrested, which is what she showed. So with her showing us so much proof, we know that the military is going to be able to control the media, control public perception. I think that she did a really good job at letting us know what was going on, considering the fact that this same exact Fort Hood, which is I believe in Austin, Texas, they have literally had the same exact situation happen to multiple different women, specifically Lady Vanessa Gillian, where she was deleted and dismembered, and 21
And it
other
matched.
officers also has been deleted also within, since her death of 2020. So it's 2022 now. How many more deaths got to come from this one particular place for us to say, you know what, let's give it a reasonable doubt? Because none of us are going to find the truth. None of us are going to have access to generals and sergeants. None of us. So we can only take what this victim is putting out there in public, the same way that Lady Vanessa tried to with her family. And then about 2 weeks later, she was, as I just said, dismembered and found in a lake. So
hold on. Wait, y'all. Before y'all jump in, I got a question now. Let's repose the question. All right. Because I don't think that and I appreciate you for sharing that article and that insight.
Yes, sir.
Daryl. I don't think that my argument specifically isn't that things don't happen, especially that's exceptionally egregious within these organizations. My question then becomes, should women even be in these organizations in the first place, considering what may or may not happen from an egregious perspective in these said organizations? Should they even be there?
I agree with you. They shouldn't. In my opinion, they shouldn't. If it was up to me, DeLon, because I agree with you saying too, brother. I don't want you to think that we at a point of contention here.
No. I let me just clarify really quick. I was not trying to victim blame, if that's how I came across. I was just speaking directly to the actions of what she did, as far as recording and posting private conversations. No, I understand when you are in a situation, it's flight or fight. So she was in survival mode. I understand that, and I don't condone the behavior that she was experiencing, especially the harassment, like that intimidation tactic. We all know what that means. So I want to clarify that, but I'm speaking directly to the behavior. Yes, that is a liability, regardless of the situation. Yay or nay, positive or negative, it's still a liability, because there was information that could have been classified, information that could have been released. And now you exploiting people, a small percentage of people, and then you jeopardizing a whole mass of other people like that.
I think you're giving like an overly like benefit of the doubt towards the military side. Like, there's nothing that was like overly classified that she gave out. She was just collecting evidence for herself and for her own protection.
Correct.
But is recording a conversation on base considered, is having a conversation on base considered classified? And if it is, are you allowed to record it? Yes or no?
A regular conversation isn't classified, but she was speaking to.
I'm sorry, my bad. I'm sorry, Amir. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
A conversation with your superior in a meeting for whatever reason, is that considered class? You're not walking around at the park, at the bay, at the barracks. You're having a conversation with your superior about anything. Is that classified? Yes or no?
No, that's evidence, because I can use that evidence. So in the military, we have this kind of like an open door policy, and we have specific people that we can go to within our unit that are specific for this sexual harassment stuff or assault or whatever it is. So if I can use that evidence, that's not going to be something that's, if it was classified, then if she took evidence like that to court, they would have to throw it away.
It would be thrown out anyway. Right.
It could be thrown out, but that's not a classified. That's evidence. I mean, how else would you obtain evidence? How else would you obtain evidence in that scenario?
I just don't know. I just don't know why they would spend so much time and resources on following her around if something that she did wasn't over the top. Meaning, when you're talking about in the realm of being something being classified or not able to be released towards the public, I just think that's a lot of manpower for one woman. That's what I think, in my opinion.
Why couldn't the argument just be that something did actually happen to her, and they're spending a whole lot of manpower and money to
cover that up,
shut up about something that happened?
Yeah, for sure, that could have happened. But the only thing we can see is what she's putting out to the world. And obviously, I mean, I'm just not one to believe anybody.
It's like I said,
when all sides come out.
We should be proactive and not even join, because this type of behavior is, let's be honest, it's not just Fort Hood. This happens at places all the time. My
sister's Navy. I'm with you guys on this. I'm just trying to figure out what really happened and get it.
So can I say this?
And obviously, the government is very good at covering things up, as we all know. And to be honest, if they wanted to off her and not a trace, I mean, please.
So the whole Me Too movement was a really good thing, because honestly, a lot of men do not speak on things that's done to them. Especially if it's like sexual assault or anything, or sexual harassment, they usually don't speak on that because, it's a bad image upon them. So it's a really good thing that women are in places like the military, like I said, not just to fight, but because women usually do speak up about things. And the good thing with Me Too is it allowed people like Terry Crews and who's this other guy going with Amber Heard and whatever his name is. It allows men to actually have an opportunity, to be actually heard without being heard. So if this woman did not say anything, then a lot of people would say nothing. But because this woman was brave and she said something, it actually opens up the door for a lot of other people to come up and say, "Hey, this is also some injustice."
I saw her I saw her crack a smile in I think it was the very first snippet of the Instagram video that Anton showed us. I saw her crack a little smile. I don't know.
And then I also want to speak. I'm a victim of SA.
Hold on one second.
I was saying that way before Me Too.
Give me 1 second, big dog. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna let you speak. Emerson, down in the back. Can you give me a peace sign, big dog? Emerson, there you go. All right, go ahead, fam. You continue.
So yeah, I was speaking to what happened to me in my childhood way before Me Too. I just didn't have the public platform to speak about it. Me Too just gave people a public platform. That's all they did. And I'm not saying that was a bad thing. No,
an incentive too.
Yeah, and an incentive. People need to be held accountable for their disgusting behavior. Absolutely, 100%.
Well, I mean, this underlying issue is about how she's addressing it. So we're all agreeing that she should be addressing any abuse that she's taking, but she's in the military. She has requirements. So is she addressing this in the proper way?
There is a conduct that has to be followed there.
Yeah, so that's the underlying issue. She's not following the process. She's not following chain of command.
Yeah.
Well, let me again. You're still not answering the question.
And unless
I'm a military guy, I'm gonna just say it. All right. She doesn't belong in the military, and they do need to remove her immediately. You don't move a problem like that to another base. She's in the Army. This whole thing, you're talking about people's lives. This is not about feelings. When stuff gets real in the military and people can't follow orders in the chain of command, It's not about free thought. It's not about going and posting on Twitter. That is not what you're there for. You signed up. You don't have any rights. You gave up your rights. You follow the rules. Period. If you become the weak link, you must be removed. Period.
Well, I mean, I want to say this, but the military has done a very good job of marketing the other side of it as well. And all of that you're saying is a good point, and I agree. But the military doesn't market itself while displaying these rules and this particular part of it that you're saying. It's all about come join us. We're family. We're gonna pay for your school. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Once you get in there, I just think the marketing machine is a little iffy with that. That's all.
But let me ask you a question. When you go and sign those forms and you hit boot camp, all that marketing, all that talk, you understand that's all over. You
it's
know what you understand what you're in, and you do not have the rights of a civilian. So the belief that you can just start posting conversations with your superiors and telling the world what's going on inside the military, you are not a civilian. You do not have the same rights as a normal civilian.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying.
And as a civilian,
on the ignorance that
hold on, real quick. I was gonna say, and as a civilian, why would you want U.S. personnel? As a civilian, why would you want U.S. personnel to do that in the first place? To be recorded, secret conversation. So in the military, you don't have the same rights as a civilian. But even as a civilian, why would you want U.S. personnel doing that?
You wouldn't, for sure. And if she couldn't go through proper channels, does that mean that the whole chain of command is in on it?
Well, I mean, you have entities that are outside of the chain of command. You have IG.
For sure.
So still, like, it's not an issue about saying that she deserves to be targeted or violated. It's about, are you following the correct procedure to get to a solution?
For sure.
Like, you're not allowed to step outside of that command. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve to be violated. Nobody's rights deserve to be violated, but there are processes in place. Just like out here, like if a crime happens to you out here, you're going to report it to the police. It's the same thing in the military. So if a crime is taking place and she's not getting the answer she needs, there's a whole process, a whole set of guidelines. She can even go to a senator or a congressman before she can go to Twitter.
And
I'm not even gonna lie, Joe. Sorry, Lou, if you don't mind, Joe, I have to disagree with you, my brother, because with the police force, there's plenty of people within the police force that get shitted on and treated badly, but they understand that they're never going to get justice within that, within their own system. How many times are police officers being investigated by police officers, and then we never get no desired outcome because it's a fraternity, bro. They're not about to shit on their own brothers and sisters, and then as far as social media.
Yeah, but at the same time, you guys are comparing apples to oranges.
Hold on.
Because it's not the same thing.
So with all due respect with social media, if I'm an enlisted sergeant and I'm not getting the desired results, I should be able to go to the American citizens and tell them what's happening, especially if it's the whole truth, right? And tell them this is what's happening. Hold on, somebody got to mute. This is how I'm being.
I'm gonna mute everybody that's not talking. Just unmute yourself when you want to talk, and then, then go back on mute as you see fit.
And what it's actually done is actually got her a lot of people that's supporting her, because as people who support the military, pay into the military as American citizens, this type of behavior should never be happening under no circumstances, period. We all can agree to that. But if she's not getting the desired result with that chain of command, it's more than likely because someone in that chain of command, they don't want this story coming out in the same way that they did not want Vanessa Gillian's story coming out after she was dismembered. They just don't want it. And we gotta admit that there's people within these chains of command that has agendas that go way beyond, as you guys would say, civilians, right? It's about the public image of America and the people that serve this country, because most of the times we look at soldiers like they're just, basically angels. Like, these are the guys that keep us safe, yada, 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 yada. When really we know that these guys go to other countries, they rape women, they steal shit, they do all type of different shit. I mean, you making that face, Joe, but this is something that soldiers have admitted to doing.
And that's fine, brother. But what I'm saying is you can go into every sector and talk about the negative in people. That's not what we're discussing right now. We're discussing two different things. You as a civilian have a criteria about what you're required to live, right? It's little to nothing. When you move inside the structure of a military, there's tons of criteria and directives that you have to follow. So while that chain of command might be corrupt, in the current military environment, like if she's really having those type of problems, there's more than enough ears that want to hear those problems. So what I'm saying is not that she's not having a problem or that there are not bad actors everywhere you go. My thing is directly for her. She has a different criteria. She's not like a standard citizen. So we can't compare this to the police force. You know what I'm saying? Like you have no criteria as a civilian. You can do whatever you want. Within the military, you have a structure you have to follow.
What problems does she say she had?
I think she's complaining about harassment at the site. This is the place that's known to have this level of harassment. So I'm not saying it's out of bounds, but specifically there's a way to go about that.
No, she just said they. She was just saying they, them, they want me dead. They're after me. Like honestly, it sounds like she needs to be committed for like some type of mental illness. She never said, "Hey, this person is doing this to me. This is a problem, and this is what I'm reporting." She's just online saying they, them, somebody, maybe somebody. I don't know who it is. Is something happening? She sounded like she needed to be committed. And even when she got to the point where she was saying, my chain of command wanted me to stay in the hospital, I'm like, yeah, you probably need to stay in the hospital. She never had an issue that she asked to be addressed.
Oh, so you think she's
it was like some phantom it sounded like there's just some phantom threat out there that she's worried about that doesn't exist. Because when there is a threat, you put a name to it and you address the issue.
Directly.
There was another question that was asked earlier.
That's not always the case.
I'm not done. There was another question. There was another question that was asked earlier in the stream where it said, "Why would she want to stay in an organization that doesn't want her?" So specifically in the military, why somebody would want to stay is because if you're dishonorably discharged, there's a lot of hassle and things that you can't do once you're out of the military and back in the civilian world. There's a lot of rights.
Can everybody mute their phone? Double R. Can you mute your? Can't hear.
So yeah, there's a lot of rights that are stripped away from you when you're dishonorably discharged and you don't have a good reason to leave the military early when you want to. So two things happen. So that's the reason why someone in the military having a tough go at it will want to stay in it until they can get out the appropriate way. But that's also a reason why somebody will make up a story to try to get out and not be dishonorably discharged. Now y'all can have it.
We're not gonna say people gonna make up a story. Nope, this girl is not making up a story. She joined
Women make
Army.
up stories all the time.
She joined. What I'm not gonna do is be interrupted.
Women
So put yourself on mute. Put yourself on mute. Thank you. Thank you for putting yourself on mute. Thank you for putting yourself on mute. And this is probably why she spoke up, because people like you think because you have a dick, you can interrupt her, and you're not gonna interrupt me. So like I was saying. Ain't no reason why she's gonna no, shut up. Ain't no reason why this woman is going to make up a story on why something happened to her and then post it on social media. This lady is clearly crying. This clearly hurt her feelings. This is not something that she wanted to go through. Now
who cares about her feelings?
For her to even put it on camera, I understand men operate off of nothing.
No, women have you are a soldier. So, period.
Maybe if I can finish saying what I need to say. So, if this woman is crying out, yes, there are proper procedures to take. But once you get to the top and you feel like you can't go no further, then you step outside of what somebody else is telling you to do, and you do what you feel like you need to do to get justice, right? That's what colored people do all the time. Once we take a tape to the police, they say, "Oh, we don't know what happened before the tape." Okay, then once you take a recording, well, that's not enough evidence. Then you say, "You know what? The system. I'm going to do what I need to do as a person, as a civilian, and make sure I'm protected." And thank God she did, because she could have ended up like another Vanessa.
Again, she's acting like a civilian, which means she's acting like a civilian, which means she doesn't belong in the military. This is you guys don't get it.
Have you ever been in the military?
Yes, I have. I'm a veteran, and I'm telling you, the military doesn't work. The military does not work on independent thought. They do not want it. and they eradicate it. Independent thought
How
will
long were
get
you in the
people
military?
killed. Period.
Doesn't matter
How
how
long
long he
were you
was
in the
there for.
military?
He was there. He knows.
Look,
Well,
How long were you in the military?
I want him to.
I was in the
I gotta ask a
first Gulf
pushback.
Hold on,
War.
y'all. Hold on,
I'm
Pete.
actually a veteran of war. I was in the first Gulf War.
Please,
I'm telling you
pull you
a
up.
fact.
B.
You can tell me
How
what you
long
want.
were you in thy
It doesn't
military?
matter how long I was in.
So was you in there
Hold on,
2
B.
years, 4
Hold on, B.
years?
Please. Give me a second. Let me reset a little bit, right? So this is one of the things that I kind of was talking about. That you talking about a place that has to do some of the worst things on earth. Whether we can justify it as right or we can say, nah, they was really over there for oil or whatever, you need a hit squad, right? Like, real talk. Like, one of the reasons why people fear the United States is because we clearly have the best military in the world, right? So when you take that into consideration and you understand that, yo, these people they going to the bottom. I mean, you got to have a different type of mentality in that environment. I'm assuming, based off of, because I've never been in the military, but in that environment, you talking about, listen, ain't no time for you to sit here and talk about feelings. We talking about an environment where if I say shoot, you pull the trigger, right? Like this ain't the regular world. This ain't your corporate job. This ain't your neighborhood or whatever like that. This is, you might have to go all the way to the bottom, and these are people that's willing to put their entire lives on the line and just run straight into the bullet, knowing that it's coming at their face, right? And this does not absolve. Hold on, let me frame it. Does not absolve you from going over in other countries and graping and doing all of this other type of stuff, right? We know that people is egregious, right? But then taking that into consideration, we still talking about it in the organization that is willing to die and go and do some of the most craziest things so that we can have this platform and be able to have this conversation, right? When you take that into consideration, does the rules change? Does the rules of engagement change? It doesn't absolve people from doing the wrong thing, but does it change the context of the conversation when you're talking about going into the mud and getting into that gulag and dealing with some of the most evil things that we've ever seen on the face of this planet? Does it change the conversation? Because we're not talking about a regular, everyday, your boss is looking at your titties. You know what I'm saying? We talking about monsters, dealing with monsters, going overseas and dealing with monsters. Does the context of the conversation change?
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. So this lady did complain about her job. I never heard her complain that she has to do the job. She knows what she signed up for. She's complaining about the mistreatment. Not only does she have to worry about going over war and killing people and then coming back with property PTSD, now she has to complain about somebody mistreating her in her work industry, though. That's just too much.
Hey, Daryl, when you get back, I'm going to pull you right back up, big dog.
So what's the point? So that's what she's saying. Listen, I signed up to be a part of this. I know what I signed my contract for, but you're also telling me that I have to also accept a man mistreating me. Also, it doesn't matter gender, but I'm just saying. I also got to go into a workplace where y'all are mistreating me, and I'm supposed to shut my mouth, and I'm also supposed to fight for you and be put on the front line for you. That's just not how that works. So it's a good thing. It's good that women, again, to answer your question,
let me
are
push
in
back
the
at you a little
industry
bit,
to give
Tyranny.
balance.
Let me push back at you. I'm gonna play devil's advocate, right? What if I said that the men have been dealing with this for years? So why should we then start giving special treatment and giving acknowledgement, considering that this is the way that men have been operating, or the environment that men have been operating successfully, right? No system is perfect. You can never say a system is perfect, but when you say successfully, I'm talking about, again, having the most powerful military in the world. And it's some people that got to do some dirty things in order for us to live our clean life. Why should we give an exception just because you're a woman?
Exception to what? Mistreatment?
Hold on, let me add one more caveat to that. When you advocated for equal.
So exception for what? Like you're saying, men have been
the
doing what?
idea that you can come into an environment voluntarily, understanding exactly what you're getting yourself into. Men have been dealing with this whole thing for years. but now we're starting to give a special light to it because women are the ones that's highlighting the issues that they're having within this organization. Why should we care any more than we've been caring up to this point for the men that's been dealing with it?
Because it's injustice to do someone wrong. So before 1948, you're saying that, okay, let's just say it was nothing but men in the army, right? Nothing but men. And let's just say that there were some men that were getting raped. Let's just say that there was some men
You
that got
can't,
their
you gotta,
money stole.
you can't
They
use the R word. You can't use the R word.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, but sexually assaulted. Let's just say that there are men that have been going through that and they couldn't speak up because they are a man. It's a pride thing. But when a woman, and when you add the balance, because a woman is balanced, into the equation, then now you're seeing, hold on, bro, this ain't, I'll fight for y'all, but I'm not gonna be, sexually assaulted for y'all. What's wrong with her calling out the evil?
Can I speak on this?
Anton, I got a direct answer for what you said. The reason why you make the exceptions and why you don't allow things like that to happen is because when you go down range and you put a weapon in the hand of somebody who's been going through those abuses, you don't know if they're going to be pointing it at the enemy or if they're going to turn around and point it at you.
But no. That has nothing to do with whether or not you're a man or you're a woman, though. Why should we make the exception for women specifically? Is what I'm saying.
Can I speak on that?
Well,
no, would it be different if a man?
Specifically, it applies to everybody in the military.
Exactly. Would it be different
I
if
have
it was
not
a man
heard.
that made a
No.
video?
Hold on, wait. I honestly, and I could be living under a rock, but I have not heard this much advocating or highlighting issues or sharing of stories from men as I have from women when it comes to issues that they're having within the military. That's just
Because y'all don't know how to behave yourself when a woman comes into the industry. That's why y'all don't understand how.
Well,
Y'all don't understand how
I'll
to
tell you
operate.
why. I'll tell you why. I've got 13 years in the military. I just got out in April. All of it has been stateside, right? So the reason why you don't hear about these things, so I worked in the medical command, right? Most of the soldiers that would be coming back from overseas, you wouldn't believe the amount of soldiers that were SA'd by other male soldiers. And they're going to behavioral health, trying to get the issue resolved, but they're not telling anybody. They're on self-deletion watch and all of that. All of these things happen in the military regularly, and I had the ability to see it on the back end because I was in case management. So when all the soldiers are coming back home, they're going through their medical. Hey, what happened? You bump your head, you bump your knee. Yeah, this happened. I would like to speak with a provider. They're speaking with a provider on the back end, and then they find out all of these things occurred. Then all of these investigations start rolling and start happening, and then you see certain people pulled down from certain positions. So there's a lot of soldiers where things go down, and they either end up in some misconduct, something happens to them, they don't say nothing to nobody, they assault somebody, they shoot somebody, and then now they're being brought back to be
so. Are
arrested
you
and thrown
saying
into
that
jail.
Are you saying that men aren't as vocal as women, and that's why we're not paying attention to it?
Absolutely.
When it comes to that, for sure.
Men are not as vocal with those issues. Because think of it from this standpoint, right? Because you were talking about, men being in the military and the idea that I'm getting from it that, it's a man's job to go fight and the war and everything like that, right? So imagine you're going into war with that mindset. You've got 100 pounds of gear on you, you got a weapon, you got enemy fire coming down at you. You're worried about the enemy. Meanwhile, you got somebody who's supposed to be watching your back plotting to assault you. And then once that happens, you go to your chain of command while you're over there. They don't have time to worry and deal with that stuff. So what do? They sweep that under the rug. Now you sitting there with all of that just happened to you. You got to go out on the wire. You got to go out and do all these marches. You got to go work around the fob with the same person who might have done that to you. And then you deal with that maybe for the whole year or 6 months, and then you come back home, and then maybe you tell somebody at medical, maybe you don't.
and then that person, they do their year, they come back to base, they end up being one of the people that self-delete themselves. They ended up being one of the people that start to have misconduct issues, that start to have problems. They were once a great soldier. Nobody knows why all of a sudden they turned out the way they did, and then all of a sudden this happens. To quickly touch on the Vanessa Guillen situation that other people mentioned, right? So I was reading an article this morning that touched on the motive for why she was deleted. The soldier that deleted her, who was a single soldier, was messing with a married woman. In the military, that can get you in trouble for messing with a married woman. You could potentially get kicked out, bumped down in rank, a whole lot of issues. So he deleted her to cover his own ass because he was about to face a whole bunch of issues. So you have a whole bunch of different people in the military who they're doing a whole bunch of dirt that they're not supposed to be doing. They may be getting assaulted and they don't say anything about it.
You didn't answer the original question, Double R.
Repeat the original question again.
Should women be in the military?
To answer directly, yes, but with the caveat, I haven't been in combat, so I can only go off of what other people have told me. I'm unsure about the combat aspect. I've been in 13 years. I've had excellent leadership I've been under excellent leadership from women. So I'd be lying if I said they can't be great leaders in the military. I've had excellent sergeants. I've had excellent officers. So I'd be lying if I said, they couldn't serve in that capacity. But if we're talking downrange, somebody to pull my 200 plus pound fat ass down the wire if I'm getting shot at and I'm down, and maybe you $130 soaking wet, I don't know.
Interesting.
Deployed, it's a liability. It's a big liability.
Definitely.
But I mean, that's what I'm wondering. And again, as a person that has not served in the military, I'm just asking the questions.
I was
I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and have a conversation. I'm gonna add in as I see fit.
I do want to say this though. I have some doubts about her story simply because there's just a lack of information and there's certain things that she's just simply not saying, right? So I know within the military, so she looks like she's about, 24, 25, right? So she said the reports say she's been in the military about 5+ years. She's a sergeant. So that tells me, based on my experience, that she has to be a good soldier to hit that rank on active duty, because generally it takes you a little longer to make a sergeant that quickly in the military, unless you're really high speed, really about it, right? So on one hand, that tells me, okay, she's a good soldier. But then at the same time, there's just so much inconsistency. Like on one of the things that you had posted and that I read, she was writing that, hey, I know I'm going to be, it was like at the end of it, she's like, I know I'm going to be AWOL, but I fear for my life. And I don't know I don't know what to do. But then at the same time, she returns back to the gate, and then she's surprised when she stopped and her ID card pings. Like, I don't know why, when they got my ID, they're detaining me. Well, you said it yourself. You knew you were leaving and that you weren't planning on coming back for some extended period of time without permission. So automatically that would flag you to be detained once you get back to the gate. Then she also had these other things to say about whatever assault she's claiming that she received. I can't say that she didn't receive the assault, but the thing that I find odd is that why at this point, why isn't she naming names? Hey, Sergeant so-and-so, like giving us the whole detail rundown. Hey, listen, on this date, I went to my squad leader. I told my squad leader, I gave them a week. They didn't do nothing. I went to my platoon sergeant. I told them, they didn't do nothing. I went to my my commander. They didn't do anything. I went to IG. They didn't do anything.
I'm about to bring you back
this
up.
is all of the people. This is all of the people that are involved. Sergeant so and so harassed me in this way on this date. Specialist so and so did this on that date. PFC so and so did that on that date. Right. Then I think she said that she was, here alone. I don't have any friends. And Anton, you pointed out, you're like, that's odd. How do you not have any friends? She's a sergeant, right? That means she's in a position of leadership. She has soldiers that are underneath her. I've been through about 5 or 6 mobilizations through my military career. Every place I've gone, I've managed to make some kind of friend. So I've got friends all over the place. So to say that she doesn't have any friends, meaning within the chain of command, so has she isolated herself in some way prior to the incident happening, where she just wasn't interacting with anybody? She wasn't making any friends with anyone?
I just think she just don't trust no one at this point. I mean, she probably don't trust anyone, which usually that comes when you feel like you've exalted all of your efforts. Even if you have, people that's on your rank, I mean, what can they do? So she's probably, like I said, went to the highest, and then they told her, we can't do nothing because it's a unit, it's a union. And people know in union jobs, you stick together, right? Regardless of whatever's being done, you have to stick together. So she can't trust anyone. So she's just like, I don't have nobody in here. But that's what I was saying. That's what makes women needed in every single industry, because it literally brings balance. And if she wasn't there, how many times would this happen to the next woman after her or the next woman after her? That's just like, damn, I need somebody to speak up because I don't.
Okay,
the only issue that I have is that she hasn't really specified what happened.
The brother that was with her in the video, he was military too.
But she has a lawyer, so her lawyer probably is advising her not to say anything or not to mention names, right? Because that can, whatever, until it's further investigated.
I don't think she's listening to a lawyer. Because the lawyer would have told her not to do this in the first place.
The lawyer would have told her not to say
put her on
anything.
social media.
In the first place, don't say anything.
I'm talking about before that, like when she started. I'm talking about before that, when she first posted that message.
It's an ongoing investigation. That's why.
Well, I'm talking about before that, when she posted the message on her IG saying, I fear for my safety, and she had the little documents that she was trying to attach and upload. Like, I find it odd that she hasn't named any names, because even in the video that she was recording, where she said, look, I put a sharp complaint. Now, what a sharp complaint is a S harassment complaint against the person. Even in that video, I find it odd she didn't just name it. I put a sharp complaint against that person.
I'm a mutual in
that
between,
person, and they're the ones that they're putting
no feedback.
to
follow
me.
Double R, should she be worried about dishonorable discharge, right? If she fears for her life, because she's been in the military for 3+ years. So when did she start fearing for her life? And if it has gone on for longer than a year, I mean, dishonorable discharge, if you're afraid to die, I think it's a better option. No? What's your opinion on that?
If she genuinely has the fear that she feels to die, then that dishonorable discharge is what she's going to get, and this is how she's playing her cards out, just to get out.
If you're afraid for your life, if you're afraid for your life and you're choosing to leave without having the okay, then you are going to, dishonorable discharge.
There's not a choosing. There is no choosing. You signed a contract. No. Hold on. What I'm saying is that you can voice your opinion that you don't want to be there, but it's an administrative action. They still have to decide that they don't want you.
No, I'm saying if she chose to go AWOL, right? What is the better choice? Staying in the military and fearing for your life every single day and being harassed, or choosing to leave?
Well, that's a different thing. It's not we're talking about AWOL. It's still not.
I know it's not that simple. I know it's not that simple, of course.
Yeah, and then you also got AWOL. She's not gonna have a choice. They're gonna remove her.
I want to put something.
So wait. Are we automatically?
I've heard a couple of you.
Go ahead, educate. I'm gonna let you go ahead. You do your thing, big dog.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, what I was going to say is I hear a couple of you guys that have been in the military. I'm prior service myself. There is an annual training, and it's called sexual assault prevention, that all military personnel is supposed to receive each year. There's also a constant program that's out there for people to go to keep their to stay anonymous, so no one knows within their chain of command. There's a lot of options out there. It's not just you're out here and whoa, it's me, no one's here to help me. You have a lot of options. And I know that as a civilian, you may not know all those things, but it's so much more to these cases than what you may perceive or off your I'll use the word anecdotal. It's more to it. Some people use that to get themselves released early with their honorable discharge. Some people use it just because they just want to get out. Other people don't like someone that's over them in authority position, so they bring up a case to possibly get them discharged. So usually when you're told to keep it to yourself, it's because NCIS, which is the Military Investigations Unit, they're usually watching and tracking to see what's happening. And based off of what their findings are, then they'll take action. But if you go out and start leaking and putting everything out here in the media, on social media, now you've pretty much caused a lot of bleeding everywhere. And it's hard to fix that because you pretty much tarnish the image of the military, whatever branch you're in. So I just wanted to put that out there.
So I remember before I had found Anton's live.
I got you.
I remember before I had found Anton's live, I was on this other person's live, and this guy actually, black guy, he actually happened to be one of the people that made the decision whether to say if it was a sexual assault or whatever the person's complaint is. So I think that's also a problem, because if this guy was the person that made the final decisions on what is what, you're complaining about this, and I'm the one that determines whether that is or whether that's not. That could also, like you said, that's also conflict. If the man didn't feel like this person committed sexual assault on that other person, then he could easily dismiss the case, right? So if this girl felt like something was happening to her and they didn't, and she brought it to the person's attention, and they're like, oh, we don't think it's that important, so we're not going to even, bring that case forward, then what is the woman supposed to do after that? Once she's exhausted all her efforts.
It's not that simple.
But couldn't you argue the same thing if a woman was in the same position, if she didn't feel that way?
Feel that way about what?
If a woman reviewed,
you're able to elevate your case.
Yeah, I mean, because if a woman assessed the situation that you described and was the man who was the same position as the man who had to make that decision, couldn't she also assess the same thing he did?
Women make better decisions than men, so she'd probably make the better one.
Educate. What would be her quickest way out because she fears for her life? That's what I want to know.
So, can you guys hear me?
Go ahead, Bishop.
So I think there's a lot of nuance to this situation, but let's kind of try to attack it layer by layer. Number one, I think the idea of taking a dishonorable discharge, as opposed to fearing for her life, right, and potentially her life being snuffed, I think you have to consider in the military, a dishonorable discharge is like death.
It's a disgrace, yeah.
Good luck getting a job. Good luck doing anything. Going to school. It really puts a big stain on you. So I can understand her being in a situation where she feels like I have no recourse.
But hold on. But it doesn't mean you're a criminal, though. So when you apply for a job and you go through a background check, is your boss looking at that discharge and going, "Hey, I don't feel like you're fit"?
It depends on the kind of job. Yeah, if you're trying to get a certain type of job.
It
may hinder you from being able to, right? It may hinder you from getting. You won't be able to use your GI Bill, right?
Firefighters.
So going to college, all that kind of becoming a cop, that kind of stuff. You may just be, signing your death. Now you can still do things. It's not impossible, but it's more difficult. Now to say she's 100% credible, I think that's we've seen, right? That's a slippery slope, because then what if she's not? There are many avenues in the military and salute to everyone who served. I'm former Navy myself. There are a number of avenues. It's not as simple, my sister, to just say, oh, if I go to I was in the Navy. So let's say I went to my chief and said, hey, chief, something happened. It's not so simple that he can say, oh, we don't believe it. It's done. If your chain of command doesn't take it serious, there are avenues outside of your chain of command. There's an open door policy. It's never going to just be snuffed out because one person may have a connection to another person and they don't want to see that person dinged for doing something or being accused of doing something. So there's a lot of nuance. It's never so simple that, one she
person,
only went to one person and they can dead it. There's so many avenues that if she truly is in a position and she feels like this harassment is happening regularly, she can find somebody who can help her. Now,
multiple levels.
Also consider that, somebody said it in the chat, being in the military, one thing I learned, like going on Westpacks and stuff, you would have females who would literally get pregnant not to go. They would literally fake pregnancies, they would fake assault, they would fake harassment, just so they didn't have to go out. So I think my answer to the initial question is, should women be in the military? I think there is a position for women in the military, yes. I think, if it was just as a broad statement, I would say no, because I think if you transcript young men between 18 and 22, make them do a minimum of 2 years, I think we would have more than a plethora of individuals to serve and be able to do the duties that we need done to ensure our freedoms here in America. But since we want equality and we want women in the military, we then have to understand that in the military, there is no male female, like the ideology. There's no male female. Can you do the job? Like the brother Double R said, if we are in a firefight and something happens and I go down, can I trust that you have my back on my left and on my right? Do you have my back? Can you do the duty that you have signed up for? And if the question comes down to, we are women, we bring equality or we bring the balance, it's already balanced. It's a well-oiled machine. We don't need estrogen to our, testosterone. We don't need that, right?
Add-on.
We're already one well-oiled machine going out there to hunt down the target, defeat it, and come back home safely with as many or as few casualties as possible. Now, again, back to my earlier point, I don't want to say that we should not believe women, but we have to be very careful when we say that just because someone makes an accusation against you, because remember, the military has PR too. It would be a PR nightmare to have her go on social media and put a bunch of people's names out there saying that they did things to her, and it comes out to not be true. And we're seeing that with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, because she went out and made all these accusations against him, and he lost so much, and now it's coming out that she was lying, and I mean a horrible liar. But everybody.
But here's the thing about it, though. Hold on, I gotta step in on that part, because you made a phenomenal point, fam. You made a phenomenal point, Bishop's Corner, and make sure y'all get my likes up, man. Real talk. We got these fellas and the ladies on the panel, kicking it, having great conversation on this.
Cooking in here.
Wanted to show some love to my military members, my Army members, the people that's in service, the people that didn't serve. We appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let me ask you a question, though, because tyranny, this is something that I don't hear you speak on. We don't see women coming back to the front of the congregation. I don't see them. I don't hear a peep when it comes to Amber Heard. We get loud when it comes to the Me Too movements. We get loud when it comes to saying believe all women, give them the benefit of the doubt. But when they lie blatantly and they destroy a man's name, and I see this happen regularly, and I'm going to tie it back onto the military after I bring this point up, right? I see guys being absolved every single day. I literally go and look for the different people that are being released after serving 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years and being accused of something that they did not do. But we're still saying believe all women. Why do I not hear any women coming to the front of the congregation and saying, don't believe all women because they lie? Worse, in my opinion, than men. Way worse. They lie more than men.
Women will conspire. They'll build a whole situation.
They are.
This is what I have to say about bad women, right? I think a man knows what a bad woman is before he even hops in the bed with her. Honestly, I think y'all men know when a woman is a bad woman, but that's usually the woman that y'all choose because y'all like a chase. You see a good woman, but you feel like because you can dominate a good woman and conquer her, that you don't want nothing to do with her. She's done. She's no good. But y'all get with these bad, horrible women and expect them to be a good woman. Then she breaks your heart and she lies on you like a bad woman do. And then now, oh my God, all women are bad. Y'all know what a Jezebel is when y'all see one, honestly. So this latest girl.
Wait. So wait, because I did a show yesterday, right? So it's our fault that y'all are bad. So again, y'all take no responsibility. And then when you choose bad and you have a man bust you down and let you go, it's our fault again. At what point do women take responsibility in this equal world that we live in now?
Bro, there was people defending Amber Heard's lie, saying that she had let her get away with the lie, so because it happened to other women. Like, come on now.
And brother Anton, thank you for having this, man. Appreciate you bringing us on. I'm sure that the brothers on the panel who've been in the military will agree with me when I say this. I saw a number of young men during my A school, which is basically like being in college, like being in the dorms. You go to school during the day and you might have duty in the afternoon, but pretty much it's school, then you're off and you're hanging out with everybody there. It's like being in a college dormitory. I saw countless young men hanging out with other young ladies who were in the military, go out, have a few drinks, maybe have a few too many. Things go how they go. And then she gets a bout of conscience or whatever. And now instead of it being a mutually beneficial situation where we both agree to participate, now she feels bad because she got a boyfriend back home in Tuscaloosa, wherever, and now she want to go and say that she was great. And now that young man is fighting for not only his life, but his career because believe all women. And then, like you said, when it comes out later on that he didn't do it, he done lost a stripe, he done lost money, he done had to do extra duty, or he done been booted. But that young lady is on with her career, and nobody's bringing her to accountability.
Ooh, I got a better
having lied on him.
Y'all make sure that y'all make these chicks sign consent agreements before you bust them down from now on. Because
on camera.
They the worst things ever, bro.
So, like I said, y'all know what a non-good woman is.
Get you a thing. You can, get the ink part and you thumb it down on it. Get her thumbprint on that mug. Make them sign
let it poke her, so get a little bit of DNA, so she can't say it wasn't her. That it was somebody else.
Sometimes they have multiple citizenships. Get all the names. Get everything.
Right.
And then once she signed it, bust her all the way down.
And ladies, when you get the man to bust you down,
all the way to the flow.
Not my suggestion. After she signed that consent agreement and she put her thumbprint in that mug, just all the way down. Once you sign a consent agreement, it ain't no love making, ain't no finessing.
Hey, man, let's just cut to the chase. Like, you as a man at any level are responsible, bro. Like, I hate to say it like that. You can believe the media, you can play those games. We can play these little games back and forth. You can be responsible for everything. So if you just stand on that at all times, you'd be a lot better in this life. Understanding that, no matter what's said, you know what I mean? Whatever the sign language is, you're always gonna be held responsible. You're held at a higher standard.
As you should, because y'all men want to be controlled, right? Y'all want to be ahead, like you want the army. You want to be ahead. Okay, that's given because Adam was created first. Cool. You want to be ahead, then take responsibility as the head. Stop doing stuff that you know you're not supposed to be doing and don't want to take no responsibility. But like I was saying, as far as a bad woman, y'all can look at a woman and honestly tell if she's a good woman or a bad one. But because y'all like a chase, then that's what you chase after. It's the ones that you can easily bust down. But ladies, once you find that man at work and he busts you down, let his baby mama know where he work, so he can report it to the child support office and make sure he paying his child support. Because I see so many men paying Anton Daniels $20. Have you gave your kids $20? Most of y'all ain't even paid y'all child support over there, giving him. Hey, more power to you.
Let me tell you. Hold on, Tyranny.
You promoted toxicity.
Hold on, wait.
Tyranny wouldn't last a minute in the military. Get her ass out. Get her out of here.
You know why they
on the interview.
Why they love me? Why they give me $20? You know why, Tyranny? Because I'm gonna give them a game on how they can prevent themselves from being subjected to.
Anton, when are you gonna open up the $49 level on Patreon? It's $20.
Because people take care of their kids. Ain't nobody got time to be paying $49 when they got kids out here they need to be taken care of. That's why.
I ain't having child support problems, Tyranny.
I got no child support. My man, listen, my kid's father, he ain't my man. Excuse me. Let me.
No, you said
my
it.
Kid's father.
Go ahead, Joe man.
He pays his. I ain't got no reason to put him on child support. It's those that refuse to pay and don't want to pay and thinks that, oh, because I busted her down and she opened her legs, then I shouldn't have to pay for the child.
Yo, don't give her one dime. Don't give her. I know the going rate. It used to listen during the pandemic. Before the pandemic, the rate was $40. During the pandemic, that rate went down until they got their stimulus package. They say inflation has raised it to $45. Don't give her $2, bro. Bro. This is what I'm gonna tell y'all from now on, bro. Not only don't give her nothing, make her pay for her own Uber and send that hoe home.
Yes, sir.
The fact that you called a woman a hoe shows that y'all men are in love with each other. And this world is absolutely nothing without a woman, honestly. Listen, you got you a hold on. Let me say this. You got you a bad chick. Hold on, you got you a bad chick on your side, right? You got you a good looking, thick, fine hold on. You got you a fine melanated woman. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to pay for that because you could get you a rat.
What?
You could get you a goo goo gaga caca, and I pay for her. But if you got you a fine looking young beautiful woman on your side, you best to be paying. Period. Okay.
Becky with the good hair gonna have an attitude, and she gonna cook, and she gonna leave me $40 on my dress.
And I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. Because hold on, let me just say this, please. Let me just say this. When y'all gonna have babies with Becky, then you are making Becky's inheritance richer, right? Because the man is the one that brings home the money. So when you're bringing home the money to Becky, she's giving it to Sarah, her sister, and Samantha, her auntie.
That's cool.
Right? So you are building up the white people's inheritance.
That's the story, Tyranny, because Samantha, they're gonna be laid next to me too.
Yeah, but you're giving your money to Samantha's family and not your black family.
But more than likely,
it's an exchange for goods and services. No worries.
Yeah, and let's be honest, right? If we with Becky and we giving her our money, there's a good solid chance that Becky is not only sewing my button back on my shirt. She got a little garden going in the backyard. She might be growing some chicken. So she's saving me money and she adding value to what I'm doing. So she's a return on my investment. Whereas everything else is questionable.
Right, Becky's temporary, but that inheritance is forever. So if y'all really feel
Why should we give y'all anything? Why should we give y'all our inheritance?
Yeah, and Becky don't leave.
Becky's
stay. Becky's more likely to stay. Becky's more likely to stay.
Listen, Becky, Maria.
Especially Maria, she definitely staying. She ain't going nowhere. If you bring the baby home,
listen. Maria don't play no mother freaking games either. Maria, yo habla español también. And if mi esposo acted like two negros, I would tell la verga también. See, we can all do that. I can even act like Becky. Oh my God, Tyrone, do you want a sandwich? I got you, Tyrone. Do you want to play with my little thing down there? Because I'll let your brother play with it too. So y'all stop playing with me. We're not even finna sit here and act like, come on. And hold on, I'm finna play devil's advocate with Lou. Because listen, I like black panels. I like black panels. And I went to Azle High School, which I don't know if people know about Azle because down here in Texas is an
Tyranny, I'm in hers.
It's an all-white city, right?
Tyranny, I'm in hers. My sister live in Azle.
Yeah, she got smoke for you, Lou.
It's all good. It's all good because I'm gonna tell her something she doesn't like. Go ahead.
Great. So what Lou understands and what I've understood when I went to Azle High School is that white women only date the Negroes for protection and the penis. It ain't got nothing to do with they like y'all. They don't even know y'all. And when I went to the Azle High School, we were talked down on because we're black. Nobody in that country or that city liked black people. So Lou, I'm not even understanding why you even here, because truthfully, your people don't even like us. And if that black girl went to you in the army, I guarantee you, as a black woman, you would have shut her down. But if Samantha and Sarah went to you, you would have believed Samantha and Sarah, and you would have went to a higher and higher and higher extent to get her justice.
All right. First of all, I'm here because I enjoy Anton's work. I support it. So number one, that's that. Number two, my sister's black. I raised my sister. She's in the Navy serving our country. Number three, hold on. Number three, I prefer black women. The last woman I dated was Nigerian, all 5'10", long legs. Number four, my grandmother is black. All right. So here's grandma. Where's she at? Here's grandma.
Lou, you saying you can't just look at people one color and just tell everything about them? That's crazy.
Here's grandma. So before you talk shit,
that's
talking
crazy.
about I don't support black women, this or that, I'm not even gonna listen.
That's crazy, Lou. You can't just look at somebody and know everything about them.
Hold that.
Certain skin color. That's
Go ahead, hold that. Hold that, man. Hold that.
Big L, bro.
I was raised by a black woman. So before you come to me talking shit, you better know who I am.
Okay. So
right? Just put that out there.
So, and then somebody put it in a super chat that I married a Hispanic. Let me let y'all know, because y'all don't know. I had sex.
And I'm Brazilian, by the way. So if we're gonna talk about all these,
Lou, let her run it down.
Because I had a baby, and as the woman, I don't bring in the money. I don't bring in the money. So therefore, my riches isn't going to the Hispanic culture. But whatever he brought to me, you best believe it went to my black family. So that's just what I'm saying is I don't understand why when a black woman comes out and says that there's injustice done to her, that you have black men saying maybe she's lying. When we all know, and especially in Texas, that is very plausible.
But we never mentioned, but we didn't mention color. And
that's another issue, because when you look in the news always get their facts and they usually base it off of color. I mean, come on now. We know statistically you cannot just put everybody in one pot. That's not the way that works.
What do you mean?
But what does that have to do with this story? She got onto social media as her own vlogger and stated her facts, her truth.
Right. And now you have,
exactly.
I'm going to talk about what I'm here. You
she
have a lot of black
men.
Look it up. You have a lot of black men, just discrediting what she says. But like I said, when you look up Fort Hood, which is in Texas, it's really not hard to believe that there was injustice done to this woman. So why dismiss what she said just because she got on social media?
Because we don't believe all women or men. That's it. We want to see the full facts.
Yeah, I'm not even doing that.
Basing it off of the information presented, you're basing it off of strictly the fact that she's black.
Yeah. No, chain of command.
You're basing it strictly. You just said she's a black woman. So based on what we know, there has to be something. We're basing it off of the evidence. We're not seeing enough to come to the conclusion to say, hey, maybe this happened or this didn't happen. There's not enough information. She's not putting out enough.
Yeah, and there are tons and tons of avenues to expose these type of cases. I know from an anecdotal standpoint, I know a dude that's going through 3 different phases for a sexual harassment charge, something that didn't even happen on base with a military member, something that happened with him and a female off base that he had an ongoing relationship with.
So
3 different levels over 2.5 years. Like, it's not something that's taken like lightly at all.
Really, you guys, I was just talking.
Yeah, he's right about that, because you do something
wait, y'all.
the police will get you, and the military will get you, and you'll get double whammy.
And again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat to anybody that want to join in on this conversation. Tierney, I got a question for you. Should women be in the military?
Depends on the department. Sure.
What department?
Me, I feel like anything outside of shooting someone else, outside of the army thing, the training how to fight. I feel like anything outside of that.
You know what I would do if I was running the country in my dictatorship? I would take every woman that advocates for equal everything, and then I will put them in their own division and put them on the front lines and make them go out.
The only people that advocate for equality is the LGBTQ community, and then the black community when it comes to how y'all treat us. Women do not I feel like black women do not want to be equal to y'all. That was not us that said that we wanted to be in the army. Honestly, that was the Caucasian race that came out and said that women should be inside the army. Truthfully, that's not what the heck we want to be. We don't want to be out there fighting. I mean, I promise you.
This is a black woman that chose to go into a voluntary army. So what are you saying?
Yeah, in 2022, in 1948 is when this started, right? Okay. So in 2022, you're getting more promises. Hey, I'll pay for your. It's a benefit. It's a lot of benefits being in the army.
But is it by choice? Did she do it by her own
still a choice.
volition?
I don't know. Because my
Did
mom
somebody
tried
hold
to
a
get
gun
me
to
into
her
the
head?
army. My mom, but parents make a lot of, and my mom tried to get me into the army, and my mom was so pressuring me that it really made me end up wanting to sign up until I realized this isn't for me. So I don't know why she got into the army. Maybe she has a
Right, but
kid.
look, Tyranny.
Well, hold on. Before y'all continue,
You still made a choice.
I always gotta slow down because I always want to reset. Let me make sure that I acknowledge everybody that support the platform, everybody that hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, everybody that subscribed to the channel and the content. I appreciate y'all for rocking out with me on a regular basis. Everybody that's in the super chat, cash app, all of that. Listen, I appreciate y'all for supporting the platform. We're gonna continue to cook up and do the work, and thank y'all for holding me down. Everybody that's on the panel, I appreciate y'all. Everybody that's in the Patreon, that link is in the description. We doing work. Next live stream, Zoom link, part 4, building a business. Y'all spending over $100,000 of my money to build y'all own new business, and we building it down in Atlanta. All right, I never told that to the general public, but we building it down in Atlanta. All right, they spending over $100,000 to build out a new brick and mortar or to build out the business, signs, budgets, everything. That's dope. Part 4, we doing it very, very soon. I posted it in the Patreon today. Y'all keep going. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. I just wanted to make sure I acknowledge the people.
Anton, man, let's talk about how accountability only matters when it goes in the direction you want it to go.
Oh,
so when it's a win, that's the maximum accountability, bro. That's
but see, the beautiful part about it, the beautiful part about it is that women already know that men are automatically, by default, going to be held accountable in society in a general sense. That's just the way it goes. We don't have a safety net. There is nobody coming to save us. There is no shelters that's there for us. Like, we already know if when a domestic violence dispute come on, we got to go to jail for 3 days. Like, that's just standard. That's nothing new for us. Listen, the live stream that I got going on tonight on Fight Club is so funny. Matter of fact, I'm gonna post I'm gonna show y'all exactly what the banner is. But go ahead, y'all can continue to talk. I'm gonna show y'all what the banner is. I'm gonna upload it real quick.
No,
So,
just
Joe,
cut
I
this
know
thing
you feel
off.
like
Go ahead.
I know you feel like women don't take accountability, but y'all truly don't understand. When we got friends and sisters and mothers or whatever, they tell us we doing wrong. Y'all don't even understand. Black women really do be advocating for black men.
It's the cover that we got rocking with tonight on Fight Club.
There go my baby. There go my girl. Look at her, man.
I have women taking enough L.
Let me help you out, Anton. No, they haven't.
I want a t-shirt, dog. I want to be on a fan
Fight
club.
Club cover tonight. Make sure y'all tap in. It's gonna
man.
But this is the thing.
Amber Heard
Amber
merch.
Heard is toxic, but he married her. Y'all, come on. He married her. He knew this woman was toxic before he married her. But now
women are the biggest chameleons are out there. Women are the biggest chameleons ever.
I don't think he knew what he was getting into all the way.
I don't either. Women are the biggest chameleons ever.
Women
will
the biggest.
A woman will have you thinking she's
Amber
an angel.
Heard has been associated with other men. Other men haven't necessarily even came out to say, "Oh, hey, she did this to me." She got with Johnny, and then all of this stuff started happening. So it's not necessarily, oh, everybody knows this, and there's a track record of her doing with other men. She just did it with Johnny.
Well, she did. She does have documented essay against her ex-wife.
Yep.
It was documented she was abusive in that relationship as well. So she in a way, she does have a track record.
Wow. Wait a minute, Bishop. Are you saying that women are abusive to women in female relationships? I won't believe that, man.
No, never.
Bro, you on here tripping, man. You telling these lies, bro.
Never happened. It never
happened. Women beat women up in relationships. Even women don't like women. Is that what you saying, bro?
Pretty much.
Am I hearing that right?
That's crazy.
Pretty much.
That's crazy.
So
bro.
in that situation, Tyranny, in a situation where a woman is with another woman and she's abusive to that woman, who takes accountability?
Man,
is it a woman? Stop this woman.
That's a good one.
You gotta stop this woman.
They find a man to blame.
Say that
women
again.
are beating each other. We gotta stop
that
this.
again. Plot twist.
How does that
Nah,
work?
keep your hands to yourself. Like, what's his name? Somebody the other day told me, everybody always telling me to shut up. I'm not gonna shut up. I'm a Gemini. Okay. But this dude gonna tell me this. He gonna tell me to shut up. Okay. Don't tell somebody to shut up.
Hey, Hey, Tyranny, my wife is a Gemini and she's chill as hell though. Like she's chilling.
I'm chill too with my man. Listen, this is like this is a live feed, right? So I don't want everyone to think that Tyranny is like this when I walk on the street. Like this is literally a live. Y'all come on.
Is your man black?
You
Is your
attacked
man
my
brother?
whole identity.
I'm a Gemini. Tyranny does
my
not
identity.
represent.
I am single. I don't.
Is your name really Tyranny? Like on your birth certificate, your name's Tyranny.
It is. And my daughter's name is Tyranny too. So watch out for her because she ain't gonna play no game.
Double tyranny.
Oh,
Double
Lord.
tyranny.
If I'm misunderstanding the definition of tyranny, like this is hilarious to me.
Yeah, tyranny is not a good word for sure.
Tyranny means absolute power. It just means
Or it's
absolute
appropriate.
power.
Or it's appropriate. Or it's appropriate. You never know, right?
Okay. Tyranny means absolute power, right? And the cool thing about my name being Tyranny is I am going to project and speak. A lot of women come up on here and they want to tickle y'all balls. I'm not tickling no balls though. If it don't line up with scripture, if it don't line up with scripture, if it's not right, then I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, Anton's right. And we should just, as women, shut up and listen to the man. Girl, you shut your ass up and go get some balls. But since you ain't got no balls, my name is Tyranny for you.
But that's
hold
not what
on.
the Bible
Wait.
That's not what Jesus
It's
said.
actually fitting that you
Yeah, I don't see no scripture that says shut your balls up.
Muhammad didn't say that either.
So you said if it doesn't line up with scripture, it ain't right, correct?
Correct. And don't quote me nothing Peter and Paul had to say because Peter and Paul ain't Christ or God himself. So go ahead.
Oh, so, okay, all right.
Oh my God.
But here's the question. Were Peter and Paul not personally apostles, disciples by Christ himself?
They were just followers of Christ. They were followers of Christ. They followed him. He picked the sinner.
Were they not his disciples?
The sinner, and then he said, "Come and follow me."
Hey, ask her how she feel about Martin Luther King, man. Because I can already.
No.
How you feel about MLK? I can already tell the vibe.
Listen. Nah. Martin Luther King is off limits. Martin Luther King is off limits.
Let that man sleep.
No.
Let that man sleep.
Let's see.
Hey, man, Peter and Paul were just followers, bro. You know what I mean? Who cares?
Peter and Paul were
just followers, little young groupies. You know what I mean?
This is how I feel about Martin Luther King, and don't get offended. This is just my.
Here we go. Here you go.
Here we go. I'm gonna take a look because I'm about to talk about black and white.
This is good.
Yeah.
Right. So,
You're not gonna acknowledge the whole idea that these dudes literally, like we're talking about disciples. They literally were martyred,
chosen,
literally
by your Lord and Savior.
Paul was beheaded.
Wasn't sinners. Who was crucified upside down? Was it John?
So they're disqualified because they were sinners?
Not gonna put
Sinners can't be great.
names right now.
Sinners can be great once they cross over and stop thinking it's all about them and realize that you're supposed to love your neighbor as much as you're supposed to love God, which is the second and most important commandment, right? So when y'all want to try to say that men and women, which were not equal, right? Men and women are not equal. But what B. Simone was saying was,
well, the Bible says love thy neighbor as I love thyself.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I was about to say.
But okay, I got you. I get what you're saying.
Hold on, Bishop. Let her get this B. Simone bomb out, bro. Yeah, come on. Give me the.
I didn't hear that. Okay.
Yeah, give me this B. Simone.
Let her talk.
This modern day bomb. Give me the B. Simone. Come on.
It's not okay. Listen, so B. Simone didn't say anything. Okay, she said that Martin Luther King was a good guy. Okay, cool. He went out there and he said, "Let's be equal to our oppressor." The fuck? How you gonna be equal to someone that?
No. She said that he was not a good human being. So how did she say that he was a good guy?
Well,
my
as
nigga.
far as
And
like
she
the
called him
civil
my
rights.
nigga also. Let's not forget that.
I believe the exact word she used was okay.
Do it, Luke.
She said
he was just okay human.
Okay, so let me finish.
The person who died for your rights.
Can I finish? Can I finish? There's no way in the world a professor can teach their class if you don't let them finish. Okay,
you're right.
Okay, so she said that he was, a good leader, which I don't think so either, because even at the end of him, he said that he feared that he brought his people into a burning house, trying to bring the whites and the blacks together, knowing that white people never even seen us as equal when they brought us over here, or when some of us was already here, like I'm Cherokee, Blackfoot Indian, okay? But she was just saying, how you gonna call a man a good man if he's cheating on his wife? So he goes out there, right, and he marches for the people, rah, 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 rah. Then he come home and his son has to see mommy crying. His son has to see mommy crying because daddy is cheating on him with the neighbor. You're not no
So-
good man. You're a fraud. You're a fraud.
See what I mean, Anton? It's always the man's fault, bro.
Wait a
So
minute.
who is he cheating with, though? Whose
Let me
cheeks is he
correct
clapping?
some stuff. Let me correct some stuff.
Whose cheeks are getting clapped? You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
First
You're
of
not
all,
clapping his own cheeks.
The most
First
famous
of
black
all,
man in America at that point.
hold
He was
on,
the future
hold
of
on.
his day.
First of all, it wasn't proven that he was cheating. Secondly, how can you believe an organization that's trying to smear his name and say that he was doing something? We don't know that for a fact. Hey,
But nobody debunked it though. None of the family members came out and debunked what she said. So clearly there has to be.
But B,
who cares about
Why
B.
should
Simone?
they?
That's why. Who is B. Simone?
Right.
Who
B.
cares?
Simone. I never knew who this chick was. I swear to God. B. Simone. Who are you?
Yo.
Who are you,
Y'all
bro?
know who B. Simone is, and if you don't know who she is, go watch Wild and Out. Y'all know who she is.
Hold on, y'all. We gonna have to put, man. Listen, I'm not gonna have my man MLK taking too many more disrespectful takes on this.
I agree.
But how is it disrespectful by saying that? Yo, listen, that's not disrespectful.
It was
If he cheated on
disrespectful. It was disrespectful because you
Is it
literally
proven?
tarnish the man. You're trying to tarnish the man's legacy
I'm
because
gonna
of
mute y'all if y'all
allegations
not talking.
made.
I'm gonna mute y'all if y'all not talking because I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Because of allegations that were being made against him by an organization that literally, COINTELPRO, that literally was out targeting every positive, strong black leader in the country because their stated aim was to continue to keep black people oppressed in this country. So that alone, just as the basis of their whole ideology, how do we take what they say as fact? And then secondly, the woman who stood by his side had to be there to raise his children after he was assassinated. Not once did she waver in her dedication to his legacy. On top of that, she never remarried. So if this man was this horrendous cheater and she thought that he did everything he could to disrespect her, why would she then spend the next 40 plus years standing on the legacy that he built, never marrying another man? That lets you know the impact that that man had just in his own household if she never remarried.
Hey,
You see what I'm
and
saying?
also, he is the reason that men and women can both have children now. I mean, this is an amazing man, and you're gonna get up there and disrespect him like
Well,
that.
wait,
You know
I'll
what I'm
do you
saying?
one better. Hold on, I'm gonna do you one better. Listen, and my chick is right here laying
Yeah,
on
we
the
both
couch.
can be pregnant now because of MLK, man.
My chick is right here laying on the couch,
It's crazy.
chilling, looking at her phone, having a good time. There is nothing and no one that could ever come to Rita and ever. I don't care if they say they got a recording. I don't care what it is. Nobody could ever come to Rita and tell her anything other than what I tell her.
Exactly.
They could say
Black men
whatever
don't
they
cheat.
want to
That's
say.
right.
They can say whatever. Rita gonna be like, nah, that's nice. I don't believe you.
Exactly.
Get on out of here, you cluckhead. Anton is the king. He ain't did none of that, whatever. And they just gonna have to keep. Rita gonna hold me down no matter what. There's nothing that no woman or no organization that can say that will ever have Rita doing anything other than exactly.
Okay, Anton, I don't want to. Okay. I don't want to. But okay, so
As an ad on Instagram.
some women will stay by their man regardless of what they do, and some women won't.
And they winning. And they winning.
And no, I mean, but that depends on the woman because I know my aunt she's been cheated on by her husband, but because she feels as though it's her husband is the only way, the truth, and the light, she ain't going nowhere. Where there has other women that knows that they
So
are,
what? Y'all speculation?
huh?
Based on what? Y'all speculation?
No, it ain't got nothing to do because you even just said if somebody brought you, if your wife brought you proof from someone else that you were cheating, she's still gonna stay.
You know it's a lie. You know it's a lie. By default, my chick is automatically going to give me the benefit of the doubt because she know that chicks will be lying. She know me better than any chick out there would, whatever anybody would lie about me.
Okay, but to each his own on that one because I don't advocate for staying with someone. I mean, if you want to stay, fine, but understand there will be detrimental happen in that relationship. And if it don't come between you and the husband, it's gonna come between the kids because kids already know what's right from wrong, man. I mean, they do wrong, but they know right from wrong. So if your children are watching you grow up in a household where the father is treating the mommy wrong, guess what's gonna happen? Two things. The son is gonna be just like his daddy, and he gonna treat somebody else's daughter like that. And the daughter is gonna be like, oh well, daddy treated mommy like that, so maybe I should let a man treat me like that. So I'm to each his own. You want to stay with a man that abuses you and cheats on you, that's up to you, baby girl. But understand, you're not only doing it for yourself. Your kids are watching. And
Your
that's all
kids
that.
need to be raised in a 2-parent household.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Well,
Yeah. What are
men
your
need to
kids
stop
conflation.
watching
leaving.
anyway? They ain't got nothing to
Men
do
need
with
to
it.
stop
You're
leaving.
conflating two
Men need to
things.
stop leaving. Men need to stop cheating. Stop
Men don't
abusing us
leave.
women. Stop
Men don't
lying.
leave.
Stop busting
Who
Men
the
women
don't leave.
down,
who are
making
the
a
men
baby and
cheating with
leaving.
though? Who are the men cheating with?
I mean, I'm not
They're
saying
not clapping
Joe.
their own cheeks.
Black men don't cheat.
When I say
Yo,
men, that's
Fact.
why I'm not
Fact, Luke.
saying Lou, Joe, Bishop. I'm not saying specifically. You know what I'm saying? In general, in general. When you go see you a fine young stallion over there on the side, you got to stay focused because that stallion grass ain't greener on the other side. What you got at home is the best bet, I guarantee you.
Tyranny,
Let me
So
just
say
for the
this. Let me
record,
say this.
Tyranny, Stallion is a male horse. Just wanted to
Yes.
I
say
know,
that.
I know.
Yeah.
And when I said that, I was like, somebody's gonna correct me.
That's
See,
just a
see,
We out
I
here
unique.
talking
That's
about
a
these
Mel,
unique
Mel,
mares, these
situation.
Mel, thank
thoroughbreds. You
That's
know
a
what I'm
unique
saying?
situation.
You know
But
what
let
I'm
me
And if
say
you
this.
saying?
got green grass, you need penicillin.
okay. And speaking of a male horse, there's a rapper named Megan the Stallion, and she out there.
Rappers a
Her
strong
first
word,
name is
bro.
her
Rappers
first
a
She's
name
not a
is
strong
good
Megan,
word.
which
example.
is a woman, and her
She's not
last
a good
name is
example.
Stallion, which is a male horse. So Megan the Stallion is really out there raising manly ass females,
Facts.
literally. And those are the
Facts.
women that y'all are
Nah.
choosing to be with. And then you're putting
No.
all of us women in a broad prospect of saying that we're all bad women, creating Megan the Stallion minded females. Straight up.
Here's
That
But
here's
just
the
when
happened
thing.
Who
though.
said
when you
all women are bad
That
women?
just happened. That's 2
But here's the
years.
thing, Tyranny. I subscribe to what Anton says on a regular basis. That cheating is pointless because it gets you off your square and it distracts you, which takes away from you being your best self and building a legacy. I'm a firm believer in that, especially in marriage, because there's no point. You stand to lose too much when you have an affair. However, I am also a realistic individual, and I understand that in some situations, men and women will falter, and there may be mistakes made, and they suck. But at the end of the day, you took vows for better or for worse till death do us part. Now, barring proven, documented abuse that puts your life in danger, or even outrageous sexual immorality that puts your life in danger, I feel divorce is an unnecessary way to tear up a family. Because a man or woman steps out and makes a mistake one time, 2 times, that is not saying that this individual is horrible and you cannot come back from it, right? And in the case of Martin Luther King, hey, look, whether he was cheating or not, his wife, his children have never given even credibility to the allegations that were made against him, which for the rest of us should be enough to say, hey, I stand with Martin. He's still a great man. And I love how people like to pull out, oh, Malcolm X never did anything. We don't know what Malcolm X did. We don't know what Malcolm might have done. We know he was a righteous brother, but he wasn't perfect neither. He had his flaws as well. And if it were to come out that he had his flaws, are we supposed to then say that his contributions also are not credible because he had
but
some indiscretion?
she never talked down on his legacy though. She didn't do that. She just saying
He didn't
y'all want
believe
to be
that it was
placed on a
true.
high pedestal, but you are not
You know
keeping the
what?
requirements
She
to be a good
alluded.
man.
She
To be
alluded
a
to
good
him.
man. To me, when I grew up, a
That
good
was
man,
his
and that's
Wait,
what
wait,
character.
a
wait,
good.
wait,
Hold on, I have to say this
wait,
because I'm going to say this
wait,
because I have to.
wait.
I have to go. I have to go take care of my responsibilities, right? But she never
You know,
said that he wasn't
baby.
a good man. But growing up, a good man is usually a good man in the family. He takes care of his wife, his kids. He's a loyal, faithful man, and he loves his God. So I'm not sure what the definition in 2022 is of what a good man, because y'all clearly don't think y'all like y'all grandparents. Y'all don't
Lou,
think like the man back
Lou,
in the
give me the
days. Y'all
quote.
are
What
a
did she
new
say?
generation
What
of
did she
men.
say, Lou? Give me the
Hold
quote.
on,
Give
wait,
me
wait,
the
wait,
quote
wait,
again.
wait, wait, wait. Hold on, fam. Hold on,
I
fam.
have to go,
Hold on.
y'all. I'm gonna have
Tyranny,
to
tyranny,
join the
tyranny,
chat.
Lou,
tyranny.
what was the quote?
Hold
She
on, hold
said,
But
on.
I'm gonna turn
"Okay,
off my
man."
camera,
That's what
okay?
Hold
she said.
on, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Tyranny. I just want to tell you this, baby girl. I know you in the chat. I know you kicking it. Our grandfathers, they were simps. They were
I knew he
weak.
was gonna say that.
Your
They were
grandfather?
weak.
My grandfather was a G, homie.
They were weak,
Thank you.
and
My grandfather was
they
a
were
G
weak,
too.
and they failed us. And they are the
Oh no, y'all failed them.
reason. They are the reason that you guys have power today. They failed us, and now we're in this perpetual fight to wrestle the power. Matter of fact, listen, I think y'all should get y'all vote should only count for half. Y'all should get like a
bro.
half.
You making internet history today, bro. You need to
No,
slow down.
really, think about
The
it.
beard is out of control today.
I just can't believe D. Simone
Y'all
said
should.
he's
I'm
an okay
Violence.
man.
He's in violence.
Bruh.
Y'all
He's
should
talking about
y'all
putting
vote.
women in subjugation. He's talking about taking it back to slavery. What?
Why?
I
No,
can't
but
do
listen,
that.
if we have to endure the majority of what happens, like we have to take on the results, whether it's good or bad, then why should y'all get the equal vote in a general sense?
It doesn't make
I
sense at all.
agree 100%.
That's why you got to turn the
That's
whole
So if they're
country into
pregnant with
beta
a
males,
child,
bro.
does that count as a whole vote?
No, it's a half.
That's a half.
Tyranny, how many babies
100%
you
half.
got?
100% half.
I didn't even
How many-
understand what he said. That women should take half of what?
Please.
Y'all should only get like a half a vote.
Yeah.
I
Tyranny, how
want
many
to go on
kids
the
you
record.
got?
I want to go on the record. I did not say that, and you did not see me
Why
agree
would
with that.
women take half of a vote when we make better decisions than men, though? I'm not understanding why we should
Then
take
how
half
there's
of
so many
anything.
single women with kids?
Because we're sick of taking y'all bullshit. And that's the problem with
But
grandmothers. They took so much of y'all crap.
that's categorically a bad decision, though. That's irresponsible for the woman and for the child. So how's that a good
I
decision?
can't wait to run for office, dude.
To leave a
Tyranny, how
cheater is
many
a bad
babies you got?
decision.
Hey, I got a
Tyranny, how
question
many
for
kids
you
you
though.
got?
Having a child without a father in place, without having a functional male in place, is the worst
It's a poor
decision you can make
decision.
for yourself
Well,
and that child's life.
maybe if y'all got y'all shit together and acted like accordingly, like you're supposed to, we wouldn't leave y'all. Why would we want to leave? We don't want to leave y'all. We want a family.
No.
That's natural.
Ma'am, I'm not talking about the leaving. I'm talking about the choosing. Why would you choose an individual that's going to do these things that you talk about? If your ability to discern is so much better than a male's, how do you keep choosing what's bad?
Discernment is a gift. It's not something that you could just.
So do you have that gift or not? Do women as a whole?
I have that gift. At 33, I have the gift. But when I was 18, I absolutely did not. And
So
like
how are
Anton
we
said the other day,
So, ma'am,
like
how are
Anton
we
said
saying that women
yesterday,
are smarter or make better decisions than men?
Yeah, so wait a minute.
Isn't a gift
You
something
said that women make
receive,
better
not
decisions.
that you earn?
And
Y'all
you
gotta
said
let
that
her go take
men
care of babies.
you said that men can tell when a woman is bad day one, right? So let me get this straight. If women make better decisions and you guys are just better overall at judging the character of men, why is it that women end up in situations with trash men, have babies by those men, and then have to leave those men to raise them alone?
Amen, bro.
How is
Amen
it
to the congregation.
you guys make better decisions?
That means it was
let me tell
deliberate.
you why. Because women look at potential. And we see, I can see potential in all 9 of y'all on this panel, but that don't mean shit. But that's a woman's problem is we see potential.
Anton, shout out to Whitney Houston. Shout out to Whitney Houston, bro.
I really have to go though. I see y'all.
Hey, Tierney, I got a question for you. I got a question for you, Tierney. One question. Would you where'd she go?
I think she
She
did.
just had to go get the kids.
She had to go get that Whitney Houston album,
We
man.
heard the kids crying.
She believes the children are the future. She
I
had
have
to listen
one
to
more
that
question.
joint.
I'll ask her on Fight Club tonight. Let's reset.
I was looking
for her. Sometimes we get off track because women do that.
Martin Luther King.
Man, I was excited for Fight Club last night.
Women do that to us, so we're laying that at the feet of all the women in the chat for not holding Tyranny irresponsible. So,
Anton, man, give me your address, man. I'm gonna send you a sweatband, bro. A little Nike joint. Get yourself protected from these crazy Saturdays, man. Got my boy over here sweating.
They're coming out the woodworks now, man.
So let's
like
get
Jada
back
now,
on
man.
track. I got a question, and a lot of y'all are scared to answer. Should women be in the military?
Absolutely not.
No.
In any
I think it's too nuanced, Anton. It's too nuanced, brother. I think, again, like I stated earlier, like Brother Double R said, I think women serve a purpose. I don't think they should be in battle because I can't trust a woman to be able to protect me, drag me off the field if something goes wrong in a firefight. Now, can you have women as medics, as nurses, as yeomen, clerical, doing all those other jobs? Yeah, of course, they can serve that purpose. But should a woman have to pick up arms and fight? No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I was in the Navy, and I would even say that for the morale of the ship, women shouldn't even be on board for deployment.
Oh no,
because it
no.
literally becomes a distraction.
He's right, bro. It always be
Hold
some
on,
drama.
wait a
bro.
minute.
There's
Wait a
always
minute.
some drama. You smack
Wait a minute. Wait a
That says a
minute.
lot, though.
It's
That says a
always.
lot, though.
We need our guys to be focused.
That's what port calls are for.
But no, because sometimes these guys are out at sea for a long time.
Oh, I know.
Bro, if you can't hold your seed for 6 months to a year, bro, you got a problem anyway.
But here's the thing.
Even on the ship, because sometimes, you know what, Bishop? Because I know guys like y'all. When y'all was at sea, sometimes y'all get off and y'all got these beer goggles on your eyes, and y'all think that everything was good just because you got off the ship.
That's every weekend
not
when
you
you're
get
20,
off the
homie.
ship.
That's a deployment in general.
Weekend when you're 20, homie.
That's what I'm saying.
When you get off the
Like,
ship,
we
you
need.
can see the beauty.
It's worse when you get off the ship.
Let me be quiet because they're gonna be like, Anton.
And look, Anton, look.
Anton think that women only serve one purpose.
Yeah.
Even on the biggest ship,
Yeah,
you're not going to be out to sea longer than 70 days max, because you still got to come in to replenish and bring on stores. That's on the biggest ship. That's on the carrier. If you on like a frigate or a destroyer or something like that, you pulling in at least once a month somewhere. So you're going to be able to get enough in that time. And depending upon your job, when you pulling in, as soon as you get shore power up, you off that joint and you gone until you really got to work again.
That's
so
only
ultimately
12 times a year, big dog.
Say what?
Bro.
That's 12 times a year.
Yeah, but that's just for a short time frame,
on deployment, like 6 to 8 months in the Navy. And then you might not go out again for 2, maybe 3 years.
Yeah, you're gonna come back to the base and be wild and free, ravaging.
Yeah, once
in those
every
towns.
3 years you got to go away for 8 months, and then them 8 months you're gonna still be able to get that off at least 8 times. If you do it once in per port, you're gonna be able to get it off at least 8 times. You fine.
Yeah.
If you ain't got enough discipline to make
Exactly.
sure you
I don't want to be around you anyway. You're a weirdo.
Exactly.
I can't trust you anyway.
Exactly.
If you're out there like that, you probably type of dude that would rape a dude. You know what I'm saying?
I was on Fight Club last night talking about dick discipline. Because they talk about, man, Aaron was talking about, man, how we need to get back to how our grandfathers was and being men. I'm like, bro, you know our grandfathers was fucked up back then, right? What we talking about? Got like 2-3 families across towns and shit, bro. Have the kids, love you.
Facts, bro.
What we talking about here, bro? Like, no, what we need to be talking about is stop, is take your power back and stop none in every female you see, bro. Like, for real, just have some discipline about yourself.
Yeah, because they're not gonna be disciplined, so it's up to us. They already shown they're not gonna be disciplined. They're just gonna give us more of these fatherless children.
No, you don't think that Tyranny was disrespectful? Tyranny adores me.
Nah, I don't think she knows. I don't
think
she knows better. I don't think she knows better. She's a very nice woman when you get to talking to her, but just some of her points, they're limited. You know what I mean?
Tyranny adores me. If I was to give Tyranny an opportunity to be a fifth wife, she would jump into it.
100%.
You already lost your hair, bro. What else
Immediately.
You trying to die cancer too?
She cool. She
would jump on board immediately.
I just don't agree with nothing she says.
Listen, listen, not only would she jump on board immediately, she would shape up. She would get her attitude together.
Hey man, you sound like the military right now. That's how they got this
problem.
So you sound like the army right now.
Anton is the military.
He gonna put her through basic training.
Sound like the army.
The darkest angel.
I'm telling you, she would get her life together. She adores me.
I think you're right. I think what she needs is a strong man to come in and put his foot down and say, this is what it's going to be. This is the direction we're going in, and there is no deviation from that. And I think if that man comes in and shows himself to be a man of action, not just words, I think she would get it together. The problem is she's used to dealing with men that let her shout them down and be the man in a relationship. She is the man in a relationship.
Hey man, I can't agree, bro.
Dudes,
she'll be on Instagram and Twitter just like an old girl, bro, snitching on you.
She would shape.
She'll be out there snitching on you right now, bro.
She would shape up.
You told me to cook a dinner.
No, she wouldn't. She would be.
I agree with Bishop.
The reason why we don't check her on the panel is because it's pointless. I mean, what's the point of checking her on the panel? She's not going to change anyway.
She disrespect. She don't
tried to attack my identity.
She adores me.
No, she cool, but she attacked my whole identity. I had to show my black grandmother's picture for her to kind of sees the point. So it's
And
crazy.
But Lou, unfortunately, a lot of the times when women are put in a position where they can't really defend what they have to say, they'll just attack your character.
No, for sure. But it's not like we're not allowing her to talk. She talks more than everybody on the panel.
I think also one of the things that can help too. Oh, I think one of the things that we can also do is probably bring up the topic of grace. I don't think we say that explicitly when we talk, and I think as men we kind of have that already implicitly given to one another. But I think it needs to be a little bit more explicit with the women, because the women a lot of the times think that we come from a position of bad faith, but I think they're just projecting where they're coming from. And maybe I could be ignorant about that, but I think that's another thing too that we should.
Right there, family, you're speaking out of ignorance. They don't need grace; they need discipline.
And also, men understand that if you get grace, it comes at a price.
I know I be joking a lot on these panels, but I'm trying to tell you, they don't need grace. Listen, women are like children. Seriously.
Anton, you know you still online, man?
Huh?
You know you still online? Like we can still hear you. You just said that.
I'm telling you for real. Women are like children.
He's telling the truth.
They need structure. They need somebody to give them a reason to continue to be the best version of themselves, and they don't have it. And so what you have is a kid that runs around in a candy store when the other listen. Rita be looking at these chicks on these panels, and she be in the background like, what is wrong with her? Rita look at these chicks on the panel, and she be like, oh, she unruly? What's wrong with her? Meanwhile, Rita is riding first class on a plane, talking about all of the things that she could have never imagined in her lifetime. We was literally talking about this on the plane yesterday. She was like, yo, I could have never imagined that my life would be so phenomenal and all of that. Listen, women need structure. When they have structure, they fall in line. But because we continue to ask them what they want instead of giving them what they need is why you continue to have this dysfunction in these communities. That's
Anton, real quick. So you've been married like 17 years, right?
Yep. Almost 18 years.
Do you think, given your situation, right? Do you think that a woman like your wife, who got with you young, built with you, supported you through to where you are right now, do you think that by a certain age, I think, of course, KS talked about this a lot, by the time a woman gets to her age with 3 kids and she done dealt with these lame dudes who she done had to leave or who left her, do you think at some point they get to a point where no matter how much structure you bring in, some of them just are, and look, it's the same for men. Some men get to a point they cannot be saved from themselves.
Listen. All women can change. I honestly believe this in my heart. I have this theory, right? This theory is that I could take a pebble.
Oh God!
I could take
break it down. Give it to us. Give it to us.
I can throw it in a crowd full of women. It can hit any one of them, and they'll fall in line. Right? The problem is that, and I know this is going to sound a little bit crazy. The problem is that it's not enough guys like me. It's not enough guys that think like me. It's not enough guys that's unwilling to deal with certain things like me, and it's not enough guys that's willing to grind as hard as me in order to be the cost to pay the boss. Because women in their nature, they want to submit, but they don't want to submit to the wrong type of guy. So they will fall in line. They'll fall in line. They just have to be around a certain type of guy. And it's woman after woman after woman. Doesn't matter who they are. They will all fall in line eventually.
Right.
Now, when you say that, do you think that a guy, let's say a guy who's passionate about educating, so he's a teacher, he's in education, he maybe makes 60, if he's lucky with overtime and side hustle tutoring, he's at 85,000 a year,
bro.
But he lives in like Tennessee or St. Louis or somewhere like that, right? Detroit. Do you think that man who's on his square, who's about his business, he ain't no chump, he a man? Do you think that man can throw a pebble and any woman will submit as long as he's still on his square? Or do you think it has to be a certain type of man?
He don't even exist. They don't even see him. The guy you just described is invisible.
Listen. In South America, they make $200 a month. The women down there,
You're missing what I'm saying.
They're not acting like this.
You added all of the wrong things into the equation in order to try to substantiate whether this man is the man that can throw a pebble. It don't have nothing to do. That's what they keep telling y'all. It don't have nothing to do with how much money you make. The money is just as a result of your greatness. So you're going to be rewarded for whatever it is that you do great. It has nothing to do with the money you make. It has nothing to do. Listen, Martin Luther King wasn't balling.
Not at
This
all.
shit brought him down.
He was struggling.
He wasn't balling. I know plenty of dudes that ain't necessarily millionaires, but they listen. It's millionaires that simps.
So,
Some
so
of
what
them
you're saying
people-
is, what you're saying is, you got to have. What you're saying is, Anton, you got to be strong enough to have a structure and to stick to that structure that you're bringing to the table. Is what you're saying.
You gotta be strong enough to say no,
You're
brother.
you're the example of being disciplined. You know what I'm saying? So
That's what no is. You gotta be strong enough to say no.
Yo, G-Dub, you can change your cousin, fam.
A lot of this comes from upbringing.
You know what I'm gonna do?
The money
I'm gonna start Wife School, hosted by Rita, and I'm gonna write the curriculum. I'm gonna have Rita over there cracking up. She know it's true. Rita is cracking up. I'm gonna start Wife School.
Hey man, Rita don't want to deal with these savages, man.
Rita gonna do.
Rita hear these
Rita
conversations.
gonna
She
do
want to deal with
whatever
these
I need
savages.
Rita to do. Now we're gonna do Wife School. We're gonna start the curriculum. Y'all send y'all girl over here to Wife School. I give her back to you in 3 weeks. She'll be a changed person.
Well,
hey, bro,
I'm about to do a
savage. Like she
I'm gonna do a
knows
public service and get tyranny straight. She in my backyard.
Yeah, tyranny was wild.
Good luck to you, bro.
Bro,
Be blessed.
I'm
Be
gonna
blessed.
have
Be
your
blessed,
chick
brother.
so domesticated. You gonna
Joe,
think
you
I
were
put-
throwing
you
logs
gonna think
in
I
the
put
fire,
shit
bro.
in her head. She's gonna be just like a Stepford wife.
Don't
She
do that again, please.
life order.
You know, I think there's something to that
I
though.
just believe some women. I truly believe this. I truly believe. And I don't think it's necessarily an age thing. I think just some women, just with their life experience. I don't care. It would have to be Jesus Christ Himself coming down from off the throne, coming to them saying, "Hey, look."
And he still wouldn't be enough. I guarantee.
That wouldn't be enough, bro. Jesus
The way you
isn't
walk
nasty
in
enough for these
is
girls.
really average. I could have done better. That's how
Or
this
the next
conversation
that's right, the thing that's right up under him.
Anton Daniels.
The darkest angel.
The darkest angel.
The thing that's right up under him.
I hear when he says the darkest
See,
angel.
I got my white shirt on.
Hey, I got 3 daughters, so I'm doing my best.
Wow.
I'm doing my best to be the man that my daughters wanna be with.
By the same
my
woman,
daughters on dates.
By the same
I
woman.
dictate to my daughters, huh? By the same woman.
By the same woman.
Yeah, by the
If
same
it was
woman.
the other way around,
Yeah.
it would have been by 3 different dudes. That's what we're trying to say.
Amen.
No, and I get that, but see, the kid, the mother of my children, the mother of my children, we had a plan. We were married. We had 4 children. When my last daughter was born, I got a vasectomy. We decided no more. We knew what we were doing. Unfortunately, the marriage failed, and situations happened. She walked away. She divorced me. Right? She now
Wait a minute.
regrets
After you got snipped?
13 years later, she regrets it. We have a conversation all the time. She regrets divorcing me. She should have stayed with me and all these other things. But life happens. Sometimes we were young. Sometimes women make bad choices, right? But we co-parent effectively.
That's where we
to the
disagree,
point where,
though. That's where we disagree, because if you're the type of dude that would do all of that you're doing, and she's still, I mean, come on,
bro. You like an A+ man. What's going
You're
on
like,
right now?
bro.
Well, I was also in the Navy. I did all my dirt. I did a lot of dirty.
He was on some janky shit.
Pay the bills?
I pay. Of course, I come from a lineage of men who don't believe in women working. When the man goes out and makes the money, the wife takes care of the home. The situation I ran into, just for a little transparency, my ex-wife comes from a single parent, strong, only child, strong Black woman. I don't need no man background. So her mother was in her ear constantly. Girl, I wouldn't put up with that. You know the whole, that deal, right? And I dropped the ball one too many times, and
Wait a
that
minute.
last
Wait a
time
minute.
was too much.
Wait.
Yeah. We got a couple things to unpack there.
How is this any different than my situation?
Well, you very publicly talked about you don't cheat, right?
I
I
ain't
cheat.
got nothing to do with it though. I'm talking
Well,
about
I'm
her
just
mother. I'm talking about her mother and the environment that she.
I
came
don't. You could never change her mother. I would
It
bet on
don't
that.
matter.
That woman would never change. Now,
It's not the
my
mom.
ex-wife has changed over the years,
Rita, are you
dealing with
cool with
other
me talking
dudes.
about your situation when we were younger? Are you cool with me talking about your situation when we were younger?
What situation?
About your mom
What about her?
when we first got together and got married?
What did she like me?
Uh-huh. My chick's mother ain't like me. She was in her ear. You know what she did? She left her mama and she came with daddy. Cut her mama
See,
off.
that's the difference. See, that's the difference. I didn't
Cut
have that.
mama off. Now, once mama got her act together, mama is back on the team and she loves Anton from AntonDaniels.com. She brags on me like I'm her firstborn, bro. Your wife is yours, not her mother's, not her friends, not none of that. She's yours. If somebody else can't get with it, then that's the end of that conversation. Cut it
No,
off.
I admit that's where I made my mistake. I made the mistake of letting mom have too much influence in my household because I came from a family where my mother never spoke up against my father. He could be dead wrong, and in public, in front of people, what your dad say? All right, that's what we're doing. Now, I'm not saying they didn't have conversations behind the scenes, but I know my father was the head; he led, and my mother, and that. So I thought I married that. I'm not understanding that I had to put in certain boundaries for the mom. I thought this is my mother-in-law. You let her do, come and go. She stayed with us for a little while. You know what I'm saying?
She stayed with who for a little while?
She stayed with us to help with the kids while I was on deployment and stuff. My former mother-in-law. Look, I was 22, 23, 24.
You was in the military. You ain't know no better, bro.
I was trying to do the right thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to have the right.
And also, I mean,
you had the heart for it. Yeah.
And what doing the right thing in this society means doing what's preference towards the other side of the gender. That's the mistake we make as men. We feel like the right thing's always doing what.
Later,
yeah.
She's telling me like, yo, I should have never left you. We should have never got divorced. We'd still be together to this day. We made bad choices. So that's why when I talk to my kids,
do what Moise Watkins did.
No, that's why with my kids,
don't you let her come back in the picture talking about.
No, that's why with my kids, my
Don't
children know. Like,
Watkins.
no, my kids know, and they're very transparent with them. So my daughters are being raised to understand what it means to be a submissive woman, to be a good, to become a wife. Be ready to be married at a young age. My son knows what it means to be a father, a husband. I'm teaching them these things because I'm telling my kids, don't be like all these knuckleheads who talk about, oh, I'm gonna get married when I'm 40. For what? By then you're gonna be what are you talking about? Like, find you a good one who come from a good background, get together, get married, and build something together. Don't be trying to be 40 years old. You done built something. Now you second guessing and side eyeing every woman that come along because you ain't gonna never know if she wants you or she wants your assets. So I tell my kids, if you find somebody young who on their square, who want to get with your program, for my son and my daughters, know you find a man that's on his and I approve of him. Hey, we make that happen.
I definitely
that's why I believe in arranged marriage.
That happens in Brazil more often than not. It starts really early. The grooming of it, and it works out.
Yeah, I was talking to my nieces. I got a 4-year-old daughter and I got a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old niece, and I told them, look, because their dad is not around, so I'm gonna step in. Anytime you get serious about a man, bring him to me. I'll vet him.
Why would you need to do that, bro? They smarter than us. They make better decisions.
Oh yeah,
you're already stepping out of line. You're already stepping out of line because you don't need to do that. They already got it all figured out, my G.
Hey, I got a question.
Hold on. I gotta get y'all final thoughts because I gotta start wrapping it up. I got some business I have to take care of later today, so I gotta get y'all final thoughts. I didn't even expect a live stream today. I just kind of did this off the cuff.
Yeah, this is dope. I'm glad I kind of came on when I came on because it reinforced because I had a lot of people come at me kind of sideways on Fight Club last night, and this kind of reinforced.
What'd you say on Fight Club? What'd you do?
Well, because Aaron was talking about how men need to get back to how it used to be. Men need to be men, and I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Some of your grandfathers was trash. some of the decisions that they made was trash. They didn't have no dick discipline. You know, they had multiple wives around, you know, around town, had multiple kids with multiple baby mamas, and half the kids loved them, half the kids hated them. I mean, that's not an example I want to follow. You know, you got to discipline your penis. And everybody was like, "Oh man, what are you talking about?" And you know,
what time was this? Where was I at?
oh, you was already gone. This is like 3 hours in.
Yeah, when you heard about that D discipline, you didn't want to hear that. You got up out of there.
Yeah, they ain't want to hear nothing about that. You know, Aaron was
You defend your stance, big dog?
Say again.
You defend yourself? You took your stand?
Yeah, I took my stand. Didn't nobody want to hear it, but I was like, okay, keep talking about, you know, men need to be men and see what results you get from that. Because we talking about today, bro. Like we ain't talking about in the 50s. Everything is different today.
I'm gonna have to go back and review the clip. I gotta see what the cliff notes are.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Because I thought it was absolutely crazy what he was talking about. You're talking about something anecdotal, what should happen, but women are different today. So to me,
I don't think that women are different today. I think that they're the same as they always have been.
You think so?
I know so.
Yeah, I think he's right. They just don't fall to the mean anymore. Like before, they really just because of how the situation was structured. I don't think they had a choice.
Women are women, and their inherent nature is what women do. It's just
and to be disruptive, to challenge.
It's just like the game. The game don't change; it stays the same. The players change, and so when you see people understand the game,
new under the sun,
it's all the same, bro. I think that they are the same.
Yeah, so I think your point is valid, though. Like what I'm saying is kind of to follow up along what Anton's saying is like before they fell into it, you know what I mean? Almost like there was no reason for them to think there was anything else. Now they see dozens of possibilities. So whereas a man before could have just kind of fell into the structure, I married you, you're just gonna fall into these things. That's not how it works anymore. They're not just falling into place.
Those DMs, bro. Drake.
Yeah,
Drake is
the
out
internet.
here flying out.
Internet changed the game a little bit.
Drake is out here flying out, bro.
I don't even answer my DMs. My junk stay on 99 all the time. I'll be trying to catch up. Don't be making no difference, man. It's all the same.
Yeah, bro.
Make a difference. Let me get y'all final thoughts because Anton got to wrap it up.
I enjoyed the panel with you fellas. Thanks again, Anton. I appreciate the dialogue with you gentlemen. I think we you know, I think we had a good conversation, good debate. Tyranny was entertaining, and I think it stands. Women, if they are going to be in the military, they should only serve certain roles, and otherwise, go to nursing school.
But if you do that, you know what the problem is going to come out of that. There will be all sorts of shit going on. Oh, the military sexist, the military is this. It's not going to work, bro.
Hey, everything in for everybody, Lou. You feel me?
I get it.
You know,
I think we need to acknowledge like a military structure still doesn't work like that. Like the way we know it as today, for those of us that have served, we look at it in a very like streamlined way. But you got to think like reality is this: like in any combat situation, any officer, any enlisted person at any level can be in charge of anybody. So we've not faced those type of casualties, but you always have to think about that on the backside. Like, yeah, we can say they can. In general, women should be in the military. It's a good idea. We all agree with equality. We all feel that in our hearts. But at the same time, the application of that can be real tricky because you can put them into these different sectors. But at the end of the day, if your general get his top, like right now, what's going on with Russia, you know what I mean? You in a cavalry unit, your general get his top blown off, you might get somebody from medical.
And on the same token, women in Ukraine are also picking up weapons to fight. So, I mean, we're not saying that. All we're saying is, you know, overall, it's not a good idea. Overall, it's not a good idea.
And it's kind of a hard comparison too, because in that you're talking about like a rebel force. We're talking about standardized, strong.
For sure.
Like it's a different.
I'm just trying to give them their flowers, bro. That's all.
I think women are powerful. I think they can do a lot of stuff, but just because you can do things don't mean you should be doing them.
Just because
almost back to that conversation about decontrol.
I'm with Joe.
I agree.
All right. I appreciate everybody for jumping on the panel and kicking it with your boy.
Thank you, sir.
Y'all stay blessed out there. Blessed by the best.
Friends.
Yes, sir. Enjoy your weekend.
Y'all take it easy.
Always a blast, Anton.
So, got another one in the books. Again, this was impromptu. I didn't even plan on doing this. My hat just came from working out. Look, I got my compressions on and everything. Anton is chilling. Got my shorts on, compression pants. I was just chilling, having a good time. Somebody sent me that article. I said, you know what? Instead of me just doing a video of it, we're going to have a conversation about it. And hopefully I can do that more often. I do have an event to go to tonight. And we got Fight Club. So Fight Club has already been scheduled. And that is up. I might put it in the community tab just so make sure y'all had a link. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel and make sure that y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm also. One more thing, again, Patreon members. We got a new Patreon. Thank you, Jazz Wiz. I'll be cooking. I do. I cook up on a regular basis. Somebody asked me if they could ask me a question. Kingdom Minded 1121. Kingdom Minded, if you still there, I'm gonna give you a second to be able to ask me a question. I got some really good shows coming up this next week. Got the Real Nathan Daily. I got Real Femme Sapien, which some of y'all know her as Allie. I might even bring just Pearly Things. Real Femme Sapien actually went viral this past week, which is pretty interesting. So I got her. I got my girl Jacqueline Plans. She's gorgeous and beautiful, and she about her bread. I got Q. We got coming up this next week a Q&A. My girl Island Girl Q. So I got a lot of dope stuff. I might even bring back the marriage series so I can teach y'all and help y'all to understand how y'all need to do things a little bit differently. Allie do got the hyenas mad this week. Kingdom Minded, if you there, oh yeah, Kingdom Minded. What's your question? What's your question, Kingdom Minded? Oh, thank you, Billy Rose, for subbing today. And if y'all need to kick it with me personally, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com and I'm gonna get y'all scheduled. Kingdom Minded, what's your question? I'm gonna try to wait and get her question before we get up out of here. Just want to make sure. I thank y'all for rocking with me too. Thank y'all for holding me down. Thank y'all for always making sure that we doing the work. I should have a video that just dropped. It says, I respect your platform. I value you and JR, but it bothers me when I see the women disrespect you. What women? You talking about when they come on the platform, like on a Lapeef Let's Talk show? I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. I think I hear that a lot. Like they say, Anton, why do you let certain things happen? So on and so forth. I try to maintain a balance of not muting people or not removing people. I try. Every day I get better at it too. And that I think the best, because I can go on and I can kick them off, right? Because there's certain platforms for that. We have certain platforms for certain things. Fight Club is a place where everybody can have civil discourse. Similarly, and that's a late night live stream. I think similarly, if you think about the Lapeef Let's Talk show, is where everybody can kind of really, really get it off. And I think that's what makes the show unique, is that you get to see women in their true element. So I can get offended. I think it's different with men, right? If a man disrespects me on a platform, then I address it immediately. But I look at women as weak. They're a weaker vessel. It's not that you're weak as a person or you're any less of a human being, but I look at women as a weaker vessel. So I know in reality, right, I can hit the button or I can remove them or I can kick them up, whatever that is, right? I know that. And I know in real life, they're the weaker vessel. So versus me exercising some level of power and control, because I think that the real lesson is how men engage men, which is one of the reasons why I apologized to Quest the other day, because when you're wrong, right? When we're on display, I think that men on the panel, for the most part, are showing how you evolve and how you grow. When you think about the women and you think about them doing egregious things, for example, the best way to deal with it or to bring awareness to it is let it play out. Let it play out. If they are unruly and if they're disrespectful, I think it's more of a reflection of them than it is of me. You're right, Marcel. Let them expose their true self. So why would I try to stop them from telling the truth about who they truly are just because I feel disrespected? No, I think that real chess players know where to move that rook and that bishop, and you set a trap. So we need to start thinking like chess players instead of playing checkers, because everything is not what it's presented to be. And I know what's available. I know what the perception could be, but more importantly, I'm more concerned with the lesson. So I just let it play out. They telling on themselves. They're not dealing with me. I'm successful. I got mines. So that's the mindset behind it, right? As long as if it's directed at me, I'm cool. If it gets too out of line with it when it comes to like, if it was like family or my daughter or my wife or something, then that would be different. But I'm not concerned about that. I try not to let my emotions control my actions. It's okay to be emotional, but it's not okay to let that control what you do from an action perspective. So you let them rock. You let them do it. I think that when they show who they are, that's more of a reflection of them than the men. So that's how I kind of play it. And we'll see. We'll play, let it play out as it go along, and we'll make adjustments along the way as we continue to learn and build these great platforms. So that's all it is. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Late night live streaming tonight. Again, I am out on the West Coast, so my time is kind of fuzzy. And I hope y'all enjoying y'all weekend. So I'm gonna always try to bring this great content to y'all. Again, I love you. I appreciate y'all. Jazz Wiz says, I only like Q and Courtney, nice women. I am. I'm rich as F at the end of the day. So, all right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go over to my other channel and watch that video. I talk about family and friends and how you need to be able to separate who's really family and friends. That should be dropping shortly. I just got the notification to be able to check in for my flight tomorrow. Boarding pass is available. And then we're going to continue to do the work. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with me. I'm going to holler at y'all later, please.